Hello.
Yeah, we are live now.
Hey, everyone.
I can see you. I can see you. I can see you on the YouTube chat now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's he talking about? He saw you on Saturday riding a cloud at the show.
Oh, he's talking about Monkey. I bet he saw Monkey. Monkey used to ride a cloud, didn't he? Monkey. Is that
Oh,
what you mean, Jason? You saw Monkey? I'll bring my tablet down here so I can see it a bit better. So, how was your Halloween, Tim? Did you have a suitably horrifying Halloween?
yeah. We had 8 kids come by.
Okay.
That
What, separately or all together?
Well, first we had one kid come with his dad, and then 5 kids came all together. And then let's see, that was 5, 6, and then one more kid came. That was 7, and then another kid came with his dad, so it was 8.
Okay. And did you give them some candy and stuff?
Yes.
Cool. Were there any good costumes? Any particular good ones you remember?
Well, the first kid that came up to the house was a tiny little kid in like a skeleton costume. That was pretty neat.
Okay. Yeah, Jason's saying yeah, do you not remember that TV show, Tim?
What
Monkey
TV show?
Magic? It was called Monkey Magic, and it had an Asian guy that used to ride about on a he used to fly around on a cloud.
I don't think we got it here in the States. I don't
Oh,
remember it.
okay.
And now
Yeah.
he's saying, and I saw the priest, the Priests, but did not see Piglet and the other guy.
Oh, okay. I only barely remember that show. Um, I can't remember much about it at all. I remember the guy had really big sideburns, and he used to say "monkey," and then sort of whiz off on a cloud. It was quite bizarre. We might There might be some people join later because of course the clocks went back for us in the UK, so
Okay.
many of the UK viewers might not be aware that it's starting at 8. I did put it out on YouTube, but people might not be tuning in for another hour.
Yes. I'm just gonna post some reminders that I'm live now.
Okay. So it looks like we've just got Jason with us at the moment. Jason, did you have any trick or treaters around to your place? And if so, what did you provide them? I didn't get any trick or treaters this year, but I was out for some of the evening anyway, so um, I was helping out with a local community event that was happening on Halloween. So I was helping to keep people safe outside with a torch and a high vis vest, making sure people didn't fall downstairs and things like that. Travel's saying he watched Monkey every day. Um, Japanese import from the 70s. Apparently, Monkey was a god that got kicked out of heaven. Oh, I see. I did not know that.
And he says no trick or treats.
Oh,
So, Dave, was there anything that you picked up this week that you bought?
I've got some DVDs that I got the week before last that I haven't shown off.
Okay.
And I did get one action figure at the end of last week, which was this one, which was the Superman Hush figure from McFarlane Toys.
Okay, so it's not a vampire and it's not a
No,
zombie.
no, it's the standard edition of the Hush figure. I have the gold label Hush figure, which is a slightly different face sculpt, but this is the standard release Hush
What's
figure.
it what's it mean by hush?
Hush is the comic book storyline that it's taken from.
Okay.
It was a storyline called Hush, and Superman got infected with poison with the ivy from poison ivy, I think, and he became infected and rather
Mhm.
angry. McFarlane brought out a gold label version of this figure, which I do own, which I've shown on the channel before.
Hmm.
But it's a slightly different face sculpt. This one is a if I can get the glare out of the way, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a normal face. The
Mhm.
gold label version had a sort of a grimacing, angry face, and was raising one of his fists up in the air in
Mhm.
this sort of manner. But this is the standard release. But I thought I'd pick that one up as well because I do like a bit of Superman. So that was the only toy purchase I got this week, and the rest is just DVDs, I'm afraid. But I can show those now or a bit later, whatever you like. I
Yeah.
understand you got some stuff this week.
Yeah, it's not much. I bought some stuff from Kino Lorber during their October Halloween sale. I bought the Blu-ray Journey to the Seventh Planet, but did I show this last time?
I don't think so.
I might have mentioned it last time.
I can't remember.
It's from 1962,
Okay.
and it stars John Agar, who was in Tarantula, and he was in another movie called Invisible Invaders, and he was in The Brain from Planet Eros.
Okay.
And then I got the DVD edition of Dracula's Dog, which is also called Zoltan, Hound
Oh
of
yeah.
Dracula.
Oh cool.
And I've got the Blu-ray of this coming. It was supposed to have come with these two discs, but it got delayed somehow. They forgot to put it in, so that's
Okay.
coming separate.
That's cool. I remember watching that when I was younger.
Yeah, it had been on TV a few times when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's all I have really to show off for now.
Oh,
I don't have anything else really new to show.
oh, I've got a big stack of DVDs down here and a couple of Blu-rays, um, which I'm happy to show if you'd like me to.
Okay, and Travels and More, Jason says that he picked up some Action Force and GI Joe ooze on
Oh,
Monday.
okay. Yeah, he said he was going to keep his eye out for some of those. Well, I hope you didn't spend too much money, Jason. Some of that stuff can be quite expensive now. Um, but I hope you picked up some nice bits. Perhaps you'll be doing a video on them soon, I would imagine. So we can look out for that. That'd be cool. Um, yeah, I might be getting some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures soon, but not just yet. Maybe in a couple of weeks,
Okay.
because that's one line that want to get a few of. I won't get the all the figures because there were loads and loads and loads of them. Yeah, Jason saying he had 2 long days on Friday and Saturday. Yeah, I bet. I bet it was a very busy event. Yeah. So anyway, if I drag this pile of DVDs over, stop me and stop me if you've seen any of these, Tim, and you want to say anything about them.
Okay.
So in no particular order, I got The Bucket List with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. That's
Okay,
I haven't
haven't
seen that
heard
for
of
years.
it.
Oh, it's so it's a film about two men who are I guess are getting on in life. I wouldn't say they're elderly, but they are, certainly in their mature years.
Mm-hmm.
And they each have I don't know if they each have a bucket list or if they combine them. I can't remember now. I haven't seen it for years, but it's
Okay.
basically them going through doing things that they wish they'd, or things that they want to do before they die. So it's sort of a it's a comedy, and quite a feel good movie, um, as you would expect. But yeah, that's one that I picked up.
And we've got Lester joining us now. Hi,
Oh,
Lester.
Howdy, guys.
Yeah, we're just showing off some stuff
hey,
we
Lester.
got recently. I had shown Monkeyboy that I got the Blu-ray of Journey to the Seventh Planet, along with the DVD of Zoltan, Hound of Dracula, also known as Dracula's Dog, and Monkeyboy just showed me a DVD he got.
No, I saw that. Yeah, I was looking at it.
So yeah, the next one I picked up was J.J. Abrams' Super 8. I have seen this before. I didn't think it was amazing, but once again, I picked all these up from the charity shops, so they're so cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to leave them behind. So I thought I'd give that another watch. I seem to remember it being okay. There was one kid in there that really annoyed me, but for however much this was, I thought that was worth picking up. So that was Super 8. Another film that I've seen before, which is quite good, which is called Priest. It's sort of a vampire type story. They're not traditional vampires, but it's quite a futuristic, almost post-apocalyptic kind of story. It's almost like Mad Max meets Van Helsing. But that's pretty good, and it's got the fella in it that is in the DC movies. I can't remember his name now, and I can't quite read it. Let's have a look. Paul Bettany, that's him, the guy that plays Vision in the Avengers movies. So that's Priest. That's pretty worthwhile watch, that one. Next up, I'm not sure if I showed this last week, actually. It might have got mixed up in the wrong pile. Is the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, purely because I like Jennifer Lawrence. I haven't seen this yet. I'm not expecting great things from it, but nevertheless, I did pick that one up. Next up is a film that I really enjoyed. I've seen a couple of times now. It's called Life, which is a science fiction horror film. You've got Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, and Rebecca Ferguson. I'm not sure if there's other people in it. I can't remember now. But they're on board a space station, and a alien life form gets loose. And it's a sort of, a horror movie. but it's pretty good. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a look. It's got a very good twist at the end that you need to be paying attention to, but it's got quite an alarming ending. I thought this was really good. I do have a friend that has seen this and is not a fan of it, but I really liked it. So if you want a nice science fiction horror film, I can recommend Life. Next up, I got the classic Die Hard 2 on Blu-ray. I already own the box set of this on DVD, of Die Hard 1, 2, and 3, but I picked up number 2 on Blu-ray because, like I said, it was in the charity shop. It's really cheap, so it would have been silly for me to leave that behind. So Die Hard 2, I'm sure we've all seen that. Next up is a film I haven't seen since I saw it at the cinema, which is Jackie Brown. I seem to remember enjoying it when I saw it. I have most Quentin Tarantino films. I don't think there's many that I haven't got. So this is another one I picked up. It's worth a look. It's quite long, but it's got a very good ensemble cast, and a couple of gratuitous feet shots, as Quentin Tarantino likes to put in his films, from what I remember. Then I picked up the comedy Due Date with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis. Galifianakis. I can't say his name, but you know that guy. It's a reasonably good film. It was okay. It's along the same lines as The Hangover and that sort of thing. It's a similar sort of comedy, but I remember quite enjoying that. So that was Due Date. Then I picked up this film, which I haven't seen, but is meant to be very good, which is The Fighter, starring Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale. A story about boxing.
Yep.
Haven't seen it, but it's meant to be quite good.
And Lester, it's saying devices not connected.
We have lost Lester. Lester, what's happened to you? Next up, another film I haven't seen, which is Passengers, with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. I have not seen this film. Again, just thought I'd buy it for Jennifer Lawrence, really. It's supposed to be okay. It's had some reasonable write-ups, but I don't really know much about the story, other than these two characters get woken up from some sort of hypersleep or something like that, and yeah, so another sort of science fiction, possibly thrillery type film. Not sure.
Hi, Delvian Seek.
Delvian, good evening or good afternoon. How are you doing, man? Then I picked up Resident Evil Apocalypse to go with my other Resident Evil films that I haven't watched. I've only seen the first one, but I think I now own most, if not all of them, because I also got Resident Evil Afterlife, and this was not £5. This was considerably cheaper than that, but it's still wrapped up in its cellophane. So another Resident Evil. So a pair of Resident Evils there, which I will watch at some point. You know, probably not this year now, but anyway. I picked up another brand new 2-disc edition of Gladiator with Russell Crowe. It's not an amazing film, and it does have its problems, but still quite a good action flick nonetheless. And for a 2-disc, brand new, still wrapped in its cellophane, that was a bit of a bargain. So yeah, Gladiator. And then a film that I mentioned earlier on, The Hangover, which I have seen a couple of times, but I decided to pick that one up.
And that sounds kind of funny. Sounds like funny name for a movie.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's not the it's not highbrow comedy, but it's, you know, it's silly. And so I picked that one up. I thought that was okay. And then lastly, finishing strong, we have got Ghost Shark. And
Okay.
you know it's got to be bad because it's got a lenticular cover on it. I don't know if that's coming across very well on the
Oh, I see. Oh,
on the
yeah, I see.
camera, but it's got a lenticular design on the front there. And they
Mhm.
tend to do that with really bad films because they want to try and sucker you into getting them. So I imagine this will be bloody awful. But nevertheless, I do like sharks, and I have sat through a couple of those really shitty shark movies, you know, like Sharknado and Sharktopus and stuff like that. So I thought I'd add that to my awful shark movie collection. And that's it. That's all the DVDs that I've got to show today.
And Travels and More, Jason has a question for you, Monkeyboy.
Oh, Jason's asking what I do with the DVDs and Blu-rays. I keep them all. Mostly, unless I accidentally buy one that I've already got, in which case I take it back to the charity shop. But no, I keep them all. I've got. Oh, I must have 1,000 DVDs and Blu-rays by now. I would think. I mean, that's only a guess. I don't know. Maybe it's 600 or 700. I really don't know. I've got
Nice.
1, 2, 3. I've got 3 bookshelves full, a big stack, a big like a storage rack full of them, and then another huge pile that I haven't found room for yet. So yeah, I've got hundreds and hundreds of them. I do
Nice.
keep them all.
And Delvian Seek says that he's good. He's preparing for the storm in the UK.
Yeah. Apparently we're going to have a big storm tomorrow.
And
very windy, very wet.
And Tree Theodore in the chat saying Jennifer Lawrence is great in The Burning Plane too.
Oh, cool. Hi, Tree. Thanks for stopping by. I haven't heard of that one. Why have I not heard of that? I'm going to have to check that out. I do like Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, I could just watch her sleep, quite frankly. So I'm not really worried if there's another film that I got with her in it that I haven't watched yet. It's called Red Sparrow, where she plays an assassin. But I haven't watched that yet. I'm very thirsty tonight. Tree's going to be upset that I haven't got a straw.
Mm.
You all just watching me drink. So how have you been, Lester? How was your Halloween? Did you get many trick-or-treaters to your house?
No, I normally don't get any in my apartment complex, and with my coworker being on vacation, I've taken on pretty much the task I've offloaded since he joined our team. So I've been working pretty long hours, not terribly long, like maybe 9 to 10. It's not like 13 like my friend who's an engineer, but it's going to be that kind of week for me. And I uttered some obscenities towards Excel because of some behaviors I noticed when I copy and paste stuff. So people wonder, what's going to take for Lester to throw some obscenities? Oh, easy. Just have a computer program go bonkers, do what you don't expect it to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't smash everything up.
No, it's just it's kind of therapeutic in a way that I normally reserve obscenities in a joking context. And for those who know me very, 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 very well, like it wouldn't seem in character for me anyway, because I may know you guys, but not to the level that my other friends do, where I can freely speak. Plus,
right.
Tim, I'm pretty sure he has certain ground rules, unless he starts giving us implicit permission. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, that's just been the week, because my coworkers will be gone up until Friday, so I'm anticipating just longer days ahead. Just
right.
Yeah. But I did well. Wait, for my work meeting, I did pick up this. So, yep, I can still see. It was marked 3+, and so I showed this during my work meeting, and my boss was losing it because she just couldn't shake the idea of me wearing this. She said, "I can't take you seriously with that thing on." But I'm usually one giving certain bits of information during our meetings. So I just figured, at least be in the spirit during my company meetings.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like unwinding, I finally started watching, as I have a Crunchyroll subscription. Haven't used it, to be honest, until like last night. And so I was watching Hellsing. I don't know if I would say you guys got to watch it. It's intriguing. I'm usually pretty emotionless when I will watch, or if there's something comedic, it's got to be really good, or I won't bust out laughing.
Oh, and what was it called? Hellsing?
Yeah, it's just called Hellsing. It's on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a take on, I don't know if it's a 1-to-1 with the Castlevania Alucard, but the main character is called Alucard.
Okay.
I think it is because he's showing his vampiric heritage, his genetics. Because
Alucard is Dracula backwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello, Andrew. Andrew, thank you for stopping by, sir. Good to see you, man. We need to start everything again. We've got to start from the top, Tim, because Andrew was late.
Okay.
Well, it's a good opportunity. I mean, I don't know where because what I popped in, you were showing the bucket list. I don't know if there were movies before the bucket list or just.
No, that was the first one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's been a fairly quiet week in terms of pickups. So I just got the Superman figure, which I showed earlier on, which is a Superman Hush figure, but it's the only one that I've got recently. It's been fairly quiet. There's the Norwich Toy Fair is happening this weekend. It's okay. on Sunday, so I think I'll be attending that. So we'll see if I get any pickups from that. I'm not sure. Half of me is hoping to find something.
Okay.
But the other half is hoping that I don't find anything because it will be much better for my bank account. But we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see. I'll go along and have a look and see what's there.
Yeah.
I'd like to pick up some more of the muscle figures if I can. I don't know if you know the small muscle figures. They were originally called Kikuman in Japan. Very small flesh-colored figures.
I have to look those up. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some here. I don't know if you can see them in this bag.
Oh, I might have come across something like that growing up. I don't remember.
There were hundreds of them, and they were all different.
Right.
Different designs, sort of wacky design. These were very kindly sent to me by Dave over at Vintage Toy Rush, because he knew I liked them, so he very kindly sent me these over. They used to be displayed underneath my TV, but I put them back in this bag to do a video with them, and I haven't actually taken them out again. So I just, at the moment, they're sitting by my TV waiting to be displayed again.
Yeah.
But I really like those. They were massive in my school when I was a boy.
Nice.
The two things that were really popular were Garbage Pail Kids stickers and cards, and those little muscle figures. So we would trade those backwards and forwards all the time.
Right.
What's this? Jason's saying he did very well at the show. He didn't buy anything toy-wise, only.
Yeah, that's sometimes
one pin. Oh, okay.
Well, that's good discipline because if I knew I had more to play with, I probably would have gotten a couple of game systems. But I just go, I'm not ready to spend the $200 here, the $200 there, and then some of the modded Dreamcast I ran across in the Retro Gaming Expo. $600 I don't need to spend. It's like $600 I could spend elsewhere. The Dell comic from the late 60s called Dracula had an interesting. Nice.
Using Al-U card. Very good.
Yeah, I know in Son of Dracula starring Lon Chaney Jr., the Son of Dracula is called a Count Alucard, which is Dracula spelled backwards.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I know normally horror is not my kind of genre. If it's got an intriguing story, like I didn't grow up playing the Castlevania games, I knew of them.
Yeah.
And I knew people who did play them because I just like what I like. And sometimes it's like I only have so many hours in the day, even as a kid. I like playing my basketball. But even though I liked the first Castlevania installment on Netflix, it didn't really compel me to play the games.
Right.
Yeah.
I only remember the Castlevania from the. I don't even remember if it was Mega Drive or Master System now. I can only vaguely remember it. Oh, I think I might have had it on Game Boy actually as well.
I think that was the only game I actively played because I think my sister might have had it, or because I forget. Because my sister is the one who had the Game Boy amongst the siblings, because she was the golden child among us. So she did what my parents wanted, so she got what she wanted. But
what's this Jason saying? He turned down a boxed B-wing for 90, and it was complete. Oh, Jason!
Wow, as it wasn't a G.I. Joe or Action Force.
Oh wow!
I get it. Like, it's funny. Over the weekend, I did some interviews, and I was being honest. Like, what was my favorite cartoon growing up? And I have to say, it was probably Transformers or G.I. Joe.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, I'm down with G.I. Joe. Like, it was funny. I was at the dollar store looking for a mask, and I chose the mask you saw me just don over a Snake Eyes that was probably inspired by the live movie. Like, that's not my Snake Eyes. I'm not.
Right.
Like I was saying in my interviews over the weekend, like, well, the live movies, whether G.I. Joe or Transformers, created a buzzkill for my fandom. Like, and it was funny. Like, I even admitted that I only remember a few Autobots and maybe a couple of Decepticons. Okay. And that's it. Like, plus the Optimus Prime mask, not doing it, not feeling it. And then the Bumblebee mask. That was all they had. Like, at least give me a Megatron, because at least I don't think they would have stood to screw that one up. It's like, as much as I championed the Autobots as a kid, I like having the choice of probably being Decepticon just because of how I probably would have taken the series now.
Yeah.
But with G.I. Joe, I'm still looking for a quintessential Snake Eyes figure. If I really wanted it, like, I may only get that for the G.I. Joe. I may not care about the rest. Like, I was on Loki's channel, and they were given for his birthday, and he was given away a Cobra Histang.
Oh wow!
I'm like, that's nice, but I don't know. I mean, if I won it, I probably would have kept it as a keepsake. But if it were up to me, I probably wouldn't invest in a lot of the G.I. Joe stuff just because.
Right.
A lot of the hoobah surrounding Hasbro and their shenanigans. That's been well documented all over YouTube and whatever. But it's just, I have I have no real desire to even get a Transformer toy of all things. But still, as I was admitting, retrospectively, I'm a Macross guy. I'm a Robotech guy. I mean, I liked it, but not to the level. Like, I knew about it when I was a kid. I liked this stuff as a kid, but I probably would have collected it when I was younger if I had known better. But knowing what I know, because of what I look for in toys, I probably would get another Macross figure just because. To me, it still resonates. But after what happened with G.I. Joe and Transformers, it's like, I don't know if it was made for me or not, but I'm just saying that's not my Transformers. That's not my G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Even though they may have had some eye candy during the live G.I. Joes, I could probably find the movies that eye candy was in, so I can avoid watching G.I. Joe.
And the Universal Toy Collectors in the chat now saying, "Hey, gents, hoping you are well."
Hey, Stu. Thanks for stopping by, man. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we're all doing okay, man. Hope you're doing all right as well, sir.
And Travels and More, Jason says, "I nearly bought it, but no room for a box." And he also had VCO 88 carded for one.
Oh, it's probably referring to a vintage collection toy model, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Because I had that kind of designation for some of the Star Wars figures I showed in the last few streams. They had that designation also, like vintage collection Star Wars. But I don't collect lots of great third-party transfer. That's true.
Yeah.
I would look into that, because believe it or not, it's funny, like a lot of my traversing boundaries, I usually can get what I need to get to where I need to go by walking. Like the Rite Aid is just across the street from me. And they have a very tiny toy section, but the collection's not the greatest, but it's not the most horrendous. It's got some stuff that you might want to buy.
Right.
Only vintage for me for Joe and Action Force. Totally get it, Jason. Totally get it.
Yeah.
Travels and more with Jason if you want to be. Well, I'm gonna be back in a pinch. I think my beans are done cooking. I'll be back.
Let's just off
and he's at Travels and More. Jason's asking, Tim, you show us VCO 88. You did Princess Leia.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the vintage collection that you had that you showed us before, the Leia.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Is that the Sandstorm one?
Maybe it is, because this is VC99. I haven't opened up any of these yet. I've been busy.
Because you showed the Sandstorm one, didn't you? Recently. Maybe that's the 88.
Unless he means one that was loose. So I haven't opened this sucker.
No, he said it was a carded one.
Yeah, I've got it. I haven't opened her up yet. I'm waiting. I'm holding off on opening any more of these for a while till I can do some videos devoted just to the action figures.
Okay, yeah. I bet that was expensive though, Jason.
Yeah, it's a little bit pricey. I still spent more on my new shoes than compared to that.
Oh, okay.
My new shoes were really expensive.
Okay.
What's your baseline for expensive?
Well, they were like 100. I think they were like $188 for a new pair of shoes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not used
Right.
to paying that much for shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. My limit's about 100, but except for when I buy the pair of Vibrams I've been wearing, because for whatever reason, the red one's the one that I've got, the maroon red. Apparently, they're popular in Britain and not in the U.S. because I can't find them in the U.S. So I end up paying, I think, close to 200 American or something along those lines. But it's like I gotta have that color.
Oh,
But other than that, I usually find a pretty good deal on eBay. Amazon had the most recent Hasbro ring toys on sale.
oh, Andrew's saying that Amazon had the most recent G.I. Joe O-ring toys on sale, but he believes that the line was discontinued. Yeah, not sure. I don't really follow the G.I. Joe stuff. I mean, I do occasionally watch a video about it, but I've never really been into military toys, so it's not. Oh, Jason's saying the Sandstorm figure goes for
Evil Day goes for 170.
170 quid.
That's
Yeah,
still
that's
expensive. That's still
bonkers.
expensive, whether pounds or dollars.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, I mean Hasbro really did kind of cheap out on the card stock, and for me, it's a false economy because they're losing out by people not wanting to buy them because they're so poor quality. So Andrew's saying that his card back just warped when it was just sitting there by itself. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he says that he'll spend money on shoes as well. He wants to be comfortable. He needs that support.
Right. I haven't bought shoes for about 5 years because at least I think I can't remember what year. I'm sure it was about 2018, something like that. I bought about 8 pairs of shoes all at the same time.
Okay, that makes
Because
sense.
I found a make and a style that I really liked, so I bought the same pair of shoes but in different colors.
Okay.
And I spent all the money all at once, knowing that I wouldn't have to buy shoes for another, however long, 5 years or however long it's been. I've still got one or two pairs that I haven't worn yet. So
And
yeah, Andrew, yeah, those card stocks are crap.
Yeah, I'm not a mint on card person. I've never really been much one.
So last week we had Leicester's noodles. This week we've got Leicester's beans.
Rice and beans. I
Rice
made
and
sure the rice
beans.
was done.
A winning combination.
I just, especially since I've been helping my friend out on Fridays, it's been a nice way to play around with like ingredients. So what I've been doing is just, what do I have in my pantry that I can spice up the beans? Because, give it some flavor, give it some kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew's saying he would accept emotional support from his shoes if that was an option. Yeah.
And Universal Toy Collector, the card backs in the Star Wars Retro Collection is also poor quality, very thin and prone to warping.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so, and it only takes, you know, some temperature fluctuations for that to happen. Andrew
Well,
opens most of his toys. I would say probably 80% of my toys are in either in box or on card. And I've said it many times. If I want to display a figure loose, I buy it loose. I
mhm.
don't. I try. At the start, I was buying doubles of things, thinking that I would keep one on the card and open one, but I very quickly discovered that I'm just not capable of opening things, or it's very, very difficult for me to anyway. I mean, there is one figure that I bought three of. I'm thinking, well, maybe if I buy a third one, I'll be able to open that third one, and I still couldn't do it. So I've now got three of the bloody things on card.
And that's why I appreciate at least Valiverse Action Force. They're not using card back. It's I don't know what the term is, but it's very easy to open. You just take the tape off the box, open it, lift it, and pull the plastic where it holds all the main toy and all the different things you can change it with.
Uh-huh.
Very easy. I don't need it to be cute. I just need to be able to see what the figure is, and that's that. It's the same thing with a lot of things I've gotten lately. But I've been getting more loose just because that's how I found the toys I've gotten. Just like the Danny Glover one, they were just random toys in a tub. Like these are $5 a pop. Okay, I'll see if I like any of them.
Yeah. Andrew's saying that doubles means you run out of room. Yep, certainly does. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of opening toys. I prefer them in the box.
Mm-hmm.
I just always have. I just like the look of them in the box. As I say, I do have several loose figures, but I've bought them that way. So I do appreciate loose figures, but um, when I see collections of, you know, a shelf absolutely crammed full of loose figures, it just gives me anxiety because I think I can
Mm-hmm.
just imagine banging into that shelf and them all falling down and then having to spend the rest of the afternoon picking them up and putting them back in place. I can't cope with that. I'd rather have them in the box where they're
I
stable.
hear you. I hear you. Well, especially the one like I was joking about my Bruce Lee figure, the one I got from my sister. You get a peg stand with only one peg in it. Like, really?
Right.
Why? It's like, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I like about the Valiverse Action Force is you can order peg stands in a pack. I got 4 peg stands. I think most of my figures will stand on them. It's just really
Right.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. I bought a bag of generic stands, and they fit a lot of characters. They fit my DC multiverse. They fit my Ghostbusters. They fit vintage Star Wars. So they're quite good, and luckily the peg holes in many figures are
Mm-hmm.
a similar size, so it does work. Because the DC multiverse, these guys that I buy, they're great figures, and they do come with a stand most of the time. Actually, weirdly, this is the standard release of Superman Hush, and it comes with a flight stand. I don't know if you can see that behind the, but it actually comes with a flight stand. Whereas the gold label version just came with a normal figure stand. I can't quite work that out really. It seems a bit peculiar. I would have, I mean, as I say, I don't open them, so it doesn't really make much difference to me.
Right,
But
right.
it seems that a flight stand should have come with the gold label version and the
Mm-hmm.
normal figure stand with this one. So that's a bit peculiar. But the loose DC Multiverse figures that I've got, the McFarlane ones. They're all very good, but they're quite weighty figures, and they don't stand particularly well, particularly if you want to pose them. You can't stand them. So I've used these Star Wars figure stands for them, actually, and I just put one on each foot, so they've got a small disc underneath each foot, and they stand perfectly well.
Right.
So they're quite a good buy, I think. But I bought a pack of about 20 or 30 from eBay just for 7 or 8 quid. Stu's saying that the majority of his figures are on figure stands. Yeah, I think it's the way to go, because it's such a pain in the tits when you knock one over, or if one of them decides to take a dive, and then the rest go down like Skittles, you know.
You can think of it as smart. To address Andrew, it's like you can think of it as smart manufacturing on one level, but dumb manufacturing on another, because they might have an excess of these stands, and that's all they have. And to save costs or whatever, instead of molding new ones, well, let's roll the dice on these ones we might have an excess of. That's my only thought on that, because that's what a lot of these small businesses, or any way a business can save money, they'll repurpose a lot of stuff. Like when I was working in the RMA department for this one .com I was at, it was like broken dance pad. Okay, because DDR was a popular thing in the early 2000s, and they had every version for every console, even the Xbox 360. But broken dance pad? Oh no, wait, that's a training pad. So you cut off the cord of the broken dance pad and you just pack it as a training pad. Because all it is just a bare dance mat you don't connect to any game system, but you can have someone just jump all over it. So it's just, just, I guess you call it logistical attempts to be logistically cheap. Let's see. Go for the old vintage 1977 line stands.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of 70s and 80s toys had the same size peg hole. So you can get away with a stand that fits all of them. It's when they bring a line out that's got a different size peg hole, and it just stuffs everything up. Yes, yeah, Jason. Yeah, I saw those stands that Dean got. He got some very nice custom stands for his $6 million man figures, and they were very good. Yeah, they were nice. Andrew's saying that it's cost Hasbro some sales. The constant cost cutting. Try saying that 5 times quickly. Means that Andrew skips buying toys that he would otherwise purchase. Well, this is it. This is what I mean about a false economy. They reuse these things perhaps from old molds and old toys, and they chuck them in and try and give some sort of perceived value. But like you say, if they're not fit for purpose, then it does cost them money in the long run. So they're not saving money by doing that. Yes, Andrew, quite. Yeah. Oh, what's Tim got? No Dr. Pepper tonight, Tim. What's wrong? What's happened?
I haven't had a chance to go to the store to buy any. I didn't get paid again until today.
Right. Yeah, I need to go shopping tomorrow. I'm running out of everything. My cupboards are bare. I need to buy more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I got to find a way to combine that with my mom's care package she gave me maybe a year ago. There were a lot of canned goods, so I'm just going through them.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
But I was lazy this morning because I was thinking I was going to go to the donut shop and get a pair of donuts and a coffee. Nope. Had to scurry off to my work meeting.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah. But then again, it's like, yeah, I can savor the donut, but then I might feel bad after it. You know, just the effects of eating the donut. Feel the lethargic. It's like, oh, but that, especially if it's a Boston cream donut. I don't know if you guys have the same name for similar donuts or identical donuts over there. Are donuts a thing in the UK or no?
Yeah, but not really. I mean, we do have Krispy Kreme, but mainly our donuts are just the sugared variety or the powdered variety. We don't. Most of ours are what you would call jelly donuts.
Okay.
And we do have Krispy Kreme though. That's sort of come over in the last few years, but they're very expensive.
Oh, gee.
Tree's got an interesting question here that you guys may or may not be able to answer. Tree is asking, what's the best deal you experienced in toy collecting in 2023 or your lifetime? So,
well, when I was a kid, figures weren't the price they are now because it wasn't the collector's market. They still had commercials catering to kids. So the kids were the ones driving up the demand because they're saying, "Can I get this figure?" I was telling my dad, "Hey, I want the Ninja Turtle figures." Okay.
But can you think of a really good deal that you've got on a toy?
Probably the Action Force ones because they're relatively reasonably priced, in my mind.
Okay.
Maybe this one because the asking price was reasonable. It wasn't like in the 50s or 60s. It wasn't anything like it. So I got this for like almost 20 out the door, if not less than that. You know?
Okay.
So I ordered a bunch of them because the sticker price was pretty good. You know.
Okay. What about you, Tim? Have you got any really good deals on toys this year?
I can't think of any really off the top of my head. Aside from these two Rebel Fleet Trooper figures that I haven't opened yet. Those were only around $5 or $6 a piece.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Off of eBay. It's the ones that hold the gun with both their hands.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than just holding one in one hand or one in the other. They use both hands to hold a gun.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I got the best deal a few weeks ago when I bought the Super 7 Club Grayskull Teela figure that I got for £20, which was an absolute steal. You can't find that for under £100 on eBay. It very rarely comes up. And when it does, you're looking at £140, £150 minimum, if not, much more than that. And I managed to find it in a toy store, brand new, sealed in the box for £20. I don't think I'll find a bargain like that ever again. Gerard's here. Good evening, Gerard. How you doing, man?
Gerard, we're keeping well.
Thank you, sir. Cheers for coming.
And Sean Blue Digital's in the chats.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for coming by, man. Good to see you, bud. We're all wondering what you're going to have to eat next week, Lester. We've had noodles, we've had beans. What can we have next week?
We'll see if I do the grocery shopping necessary. We'll see. I mean, I lucked out because I got 2 bags of rice, small ones, like 1.5 pounds, maybe 2. The ones you might get at the dollar store, but in the laundry room they said, "Hey, free food, like a free bag of rice. I can't two free bags of rice. Can't complain."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's gonna hold me over. But
I do like rice.
it's that, or if I order delivery, I might have some cheese fries and a Mexican Coke.
Ah,
That's my weakness. Like once I was tipped about Mexican Coke, it's like, all right, just
okay.
because the Mexican Coke uses cane sugar instead of high fructose with corn syrup that they use for everything else.
Okay.
And I think the ingredients are less. Let's see. Sorry. So yeah, just carbonated water, cane sugar, caramel color, phosphoric acid, and that's it. And then caffeine. That's it.
Okay.
I forget the inventory on the high fructose ones, but yeah, that's it. It's like why did they stop making Coke like this in the beginning?
Yeah. Andrew said that the other day someone left a box of toys by the mailbox, and he didn't he didn't feel that any of them were for him, but it was nice to see people giving toys away. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. That's one way of doing it, isn't it? I suppose it probably saved them a trip to the thrift store.
Oh yeah.
Right, typo will haunt me into the afterlife. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm gonna have to dip out, guys. It's the rare.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, because of how busy things are and the number of things I got to juggle. I just need to be focused.
Okay, man.
I'll still listen to you guys. Yeah, no. Thank you for having me. And I know as always, I'll see if I can jump in next week and then go from there.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks for stopping by, Lester.
See you, man.
All right. See you then.
Gerard O'Connor said that says that he's a grammar Nazi. Yep, me too, Gerard. Yes, yeah, I do get very annoyed with online grammar. I must say, I try not to let it get to me, but I just can't help it, you know. But I realise that not everyone is quite as anal as I am, so I do let things slide most of the time. But I do roll my eyes a lot at incorrect usage of punctuation and things like that. It can be quite irritating. So, Tim, what have you got to say for yourself? Did you enjoy your dancing last week?
I don't think I had any dance classes last week.
You did some on the stream though for us, didn't you?
Yeah, that was kind of fun. I wish I could have done a much better job though.
A bit of a shimmy.
Yeah, I had dance class yesterday at 12, and I should have it again tomorrow.
Cool. Is that the fusion?
Yeah, tribal fusion.
Gerard said he finds it hard not to correct people. Yeah, I mean I think you have to choose your battles carefully with grammar, don't you? Because sometimes it's obvious that people are far beyond saving, so it's not really worth doing. But sometimes I do point point things out occasionally, but sometimes I do point things out occasionally. There you go. That was a perfect example of tautology. Excellent. No, Andrew, I think your spelling and grammar's all right. I mean, it's only kind of phone typos and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Gerard O'Connor, I'm pretty shy though, so getting me into a male belly dancer costume, that's taken years to get me to do that in front of anybody else. I was just always really shy and modest about showing skin for the longest time. And then just to try dancing.
So anybody that's in the chat, if you've got any questions about stuff, toys, movies, books, anything like that, do chuck them in the comments, because otherwise Tim and I are going to struggle. That's fine, Andrew. I mean, I've said it before, but I quite like the American spelling. I think it makes a lot more sense, and it doesn't irritate me. I know a lot of Brits get quite irritated by the lack of U's in words like color and flavor and stuff like that, but it doesn't bother me. I'm more than happy with American spelling. It doesn't bother me at all. And a lot of Brits complain about the word aluminium because in America you say aluminum. But in actual fact, the word aluminium was originally spelt aluminum, and it was only changed. The extra I was added to make it fit, to make it more in keeping with some other words in the periodic table. So actually, the American spelling is the original way of spelling it. So Andrew's asking us, Tim, what are some movies you meant to watch but haven't got to yet? He has a long list that grows every year. So any films that you've meant to watch but haven't yet?
Deadly Eyes, and then King Kong.
Okay.
Gerard O'Connor, I don't really have that many. I mean, I have some books, but I don't do a lot of reading. I don't have the attention span really to do much reading of books.
Hang on, has Gerard asked a question about books?
Yeah, he says so. Guys,
Okay,
do you?
let me deal with Andrew's first. The one film that I think I need to watch but I haven't watched yet. The first one that comes to mind is The Blues Brothers. I've never seen that, and I understand it's very good, but it's just not one I've watched. I've never seen The Great Escape, which I understand is quite a good film, but I've never seen that. What else? I'm sure there must be quite a few films that I haven't seen.
This is one I still need to watch the Blu-ray of. I've seen it before though. Mark of the Vampire, and then
that doesn't count.
And then Terror in the Isles. I haven't watched the Blu-ray yet, but I always used to see this on cable right before Halloween when I was a kid.
Okay.
But there is one I haven't watched yet at all. Well, there's a few over here. Let's see. quite a few over here I haven't watched yet.
Oh, I thought of another one. Apocalypse Now. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either.
Yeah, that's one that I probably should watch.
Yeah, there's this one Italian, well, it's dubbed in English, but it's one that was done by an Italian director, Autopsy,
Oh,
from 1975. And then The Oracle's a horror movie from, can't remember if it's late 70s or early 80s. I think it's from the 80s. And then Putney Swope, the Truth and Soul movie made by Robert Downey Sr., Robert Downey Jr.'s dad.
okay.
And then when Roger Corman produced movie from the mid-70s, Cockfighters, starring Warren Oates. Yeah, it's about this cowboy guy that has this rooster that fights other roosters.
Oh dear. I need to grow up, don't I?
Yeah, it doesn't mean the type of cock you think of. And then there's a Western comedy from the 1976 that I still need to watch, The Great Scout and Cat House Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it stars Lee Marvin, Oliver Reed, Robert Culp, Elizabeth Ashley, Strother Martin, and Sylvia Miles, and then Kay Lenz is in it.
No, never heard of it. You see, what happened there, Tim, is I listed a load of classic movies that everyone should have seen, and you've listed some really obscure movies that nobody's ever heard of.
I don't think I might have seen this one, parts of this on cable, but I'm not 100% sure if I have seen it.
What's it called?
The Heavenly Kid.
Okay.
It's about a teen that dies and he comes back as an angel.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he was dating this girl back in either the 50s or the 60s, and now he's come back to help her son.
Okay.
And then another 70s one, Shark's Treasure.
Ooh. I bet
And
that's awful.
Huh?
I bet that's awful.
Well, it came out the same year as Jaws.
Okay.
So, yeah, probably not as good as Jaws, but this is more of just having to deal with sharks while looking for sunken treasure.
Okay.
But we have got a lot of text in the chat.
Well, let's go to Gerard's question about books. Can you bring that one up?
Yeah, and I already mentioned that I don't have much. I have some books, but I don't do that much reading because my attention spans don't have that good of an attention span.
Yeah, I struggle with that these days, but I have got an extensive book collection. I've got lots of Stephen King, lots and lots of Dean Koontz. I've also got loads of Brian Keane horror novels. I think I've got all Richard Lehman's novels. I have a very large collection of Graham Masterton, which I think is probably my favorite author. He's very prolific, but I do like his stories. I mean, he's very gruesome. I've got a lot of Sean Hudson. I've got a lot of James Herbert. I also have quite a few crime authors that I like. So I've got lots of Patricia Cornwell, lots of Karen Slaughter, a good few Lee Child novels, and then I've got lots of zombie anthologies from various authors. I've got a lot of zombie fiction, but yeah, I do have quite an extensive book collection. When I get my spare room converted into a display room, I'm going to move all my books and DVDs into there, so you'll be able to see the collection that I've got at that time. But yeah, I've got a lot of books. Yeah, I've always collected books. What else have we got, Tim?
There is just a lot of chat room text.
Okay, let's go through them one by one. LA Confidential. Yeah, it was okay. I don't remember much about it. I think I was probably too young when I saw it. I wasn't really that kind of. I perhaps didn't follow it very well, but it's yeah, it's supposed to be good. I couldn't say either way, unfortunately. It's one I bought on video when it came out, but I don't know, not sure about that one. Give it a go.
And Delvian Seek says, I've never seen The Godfather. I have it on DVD, but maybe this Christmas when I have some time off. Yeah, I've never seen those movies either. And
wow,
some people have gotten offended that I hadn't seen them practically. And
Godfather 1 is pretty good. Godfather 2, I think I prefer. And apparently Godfather 3 isn't very good, so I haven't seen that one. I used to own the box set on VHS, but I never got around to watching the third one. But 1 and 2 are worth a look. They're pretty good. Yeah, check them out, Delvin.
Andrew says, I don't know about the UK, but over here you can get movies from the library. In fact, when I lived in Colorado, they showed movies in the library. They showed Vincent Price, Last Man on Earth. Yeah, and that's one that's been on a bunch of cheap DVDs, and it finally had a Blu-ray release, I think either last year or sometime in recent years.
Right. Yeah, you can get movies from the library here, but they're not really ones you would want to watch. They normally have a load of crap. The odd classic maybe, but for the most part, they're just kind of obscure films that I've never heard of. Just bizarre stuff. Well, not even bizarre stuff, just very bland, boring stuff. Oh, okay. Jason's saying that the mini series of The Great Escape was good. Yeah, no, I've never seen the film, and I didn't know there was a TV series.
Yeah, and this is kind of interesting question. Tree Theodore asks, what's the most shocking behind the scenes fact you learned about a movie you've watched?
It's a great question, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to think of an answer. I'm sure I have learned some shocking behind the scenes facts, but I don't think I'd be able to bring any of them to mind, quite honestly. it's not a movie, but I remember. Actually, no, I can remember two things. Firstly, I remember hearing interviews with the cast of the A-Team, and I remember being quite shocked that George Peppard and Mr. T didn't get on very well, and that in fact George Peppard was quite unkind and quite very rude to Mr. T, and I found that quite surprising because you wouldn't necessarily know that from watching the TV show. So I remember being surprised about that. And I also remember hearing interviews from behind the scenes of the Star Wars movies saying that Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker didn't get along, and that Anthony Daniels was an absolute dick to Kenny Baker. And well, he was.
Yeah, but I'm just getting this picture in my head. I saw some picture online. I think it was a fake photograph that had been faked, making it look like C-3PO having a penis.
Oh yeah. No, that's a real card. That's a real trading card that got produced, and
well, I just got that image in my head after you said that he was a dick.
Yeah, well, Anthony Daniels refuses to sign that card at conventions because often people take that card to signings and he refuses to sign it, which I think is a bit shitty of him, really. I mean, people have collected these things and they want him to sign it, but he says it's in poor taste and he doesn't want to sign it. But yeah, there is a C-3PO image that is rather phallic.
There was what at first the only thing I could think of was The Exorcist, how one of the actors in it dies in the movie, but then a week after that actor had filmed all his scenes, he really did end up dying in real life.
Oh.
But the Twilight Zone movie was the most shocking, probably, since one of the stars, Vic Morrow, he got killed filming a scene from that movie. There was an extra scene that didn't get into the movie because it was one they were going to add in, where it was him performing with a couple of inexperienced child actors. They were supposed to, I think a helicopter was supposed to land to rescue them, but the helicopter crashed and it killed the pilot, and then I think it decapitated actor Vic Morrow along with one of the children, and then the other child just got the helicopter got squashed to death by the helicopter.
Oh my God.
So that ended Vic Morrow's life.
Yeah, that tends to happen when you get your head cut off. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he was in the Twilight Zone movie. He was playing this bigot that gets kicked out of a bar after fighting with an Asian, a black, and a Jewish person, and then he finds himself as a Jew in Nazi Germany, a black being chased by the KKK in the Old South, and then being an Asian in a firefight in Vietnam.
Oh.
Yeah, they were going to redeem the character by having him rescue a couple children in Vietnam, and that's the scene where he got the extra scene where he got killed. So they ended up just ending that part of the movie with just him being carted away in a truck driven by some German Nazis, taking away a bunch of Jews to be killed. So that's how that part of the movie just ended, rather than having it end with more redeeming.
Oh my
bit.
God. Well, there you go, Tree. That was shocking.
Oh, my phone's ringing. Hang on.
Well, that's a great question, though, Tree. Thank you for that. That's really good. I'm sorry we
I've got caller ID and it's spam caller, so
Please leave a message after the tone.
yeah, it was spam.
All right. Okay. That's a great question, though, from Tree, wasn't it? I wish I could think of more. I'm sure after the stream, I'll think of 2 or 3 things that aren't occurring to me right now. But no, great question. Thanks, man.
And Andrew says, I like the Blues Brothers, but haven't seen it in ages. Same here.
Right.
And Gerard O'Connor says, oh, and I'm pretty sure we should all watch the Green Lantern live action movie. I'm guessing that
one.
Okay, yeah, I figured. And Travels More with Jason. Tree, to me, it's when I find out that the cast did not get on with the other, when on the show they were family best friends, so
Yeah.
so on.
Yeah.
And then Andrew says, same with Apocalypse Now, which leads to another question. What movie opinion changed the most upon rewatch? There are some movies I'm afraid to watch, as I know they won't hold up. Yeah, after I had seen E.T. in a theater twice when it first came out, I couldn't watch it again for the longest time, and I think it took, I had to see it on TV to see it. And the same with Return of the Jedi. I had seen it in a theater when I was a kid, but then it wasn't until my dad rented it that I could watch it again.
Let me think. I think the Phantom Menace, my opinion changed. I remember enjoying it the first time around at the cinema, and then I watched it again sort of several years, probably many years later, and really wasn't impressed with it at all. So my opinion changed for the worse on that one. I've got a vague recollection of a film that I saw once and didn't like it, and then I watched it again and did, and I can't remember what it was. So that's really not very helpful. I really don't remember what it was. It might have been something like Goodfellas, something like that I'd watched once, and I don't remember being very impressed by it, and just thinking, oh, that was boring, and then watching it again and being like, oh, that was actually really good. It might have been Goodfellas. Can't remember. Sorry, Andrew, not really sure. Great question though.
And Tree Theodore says, nice one, Jason. And then Travels More with Jason says, I seen it, Tim. Which movie was that? Was that The Heavenly Kid you had seen, Jason? And Gerard O'Connor, from the opposite angle, movies you have watched multiple times and will again.
Oh, there are loads, Gerard. I mean, obviously, you've got films like Star Wars, Empire, Jedi. I will definitely watch those again. Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Lost Boys. I mean, I could go on all day. There are so many films that I've seen multiple times, and I will definitely watch them again. The film I've watched the most actually. Well, or one of the films I watched the most was actually Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. When that came out, I watched it 9 times in 1 week. So I watched it every single day, Monday to Friday, and then I watched it twice um, on a Saturday and a Sunday. So there might be other films I've seen more times, perhaps, but that's certainly up there, and I'll probably watch that again at some point. I guess Commando. I'll definitely watch Commando again, and I've seen that a good few times. Terminator 2. Twins. I remember watching Twins a lot when I was younger. I'll definitely watch that again at some point. So yeah, there are many films that I would add to that list, Gerard. What about you, Tim? Are there films that you've seen multiple times?
Yeah, Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy, and then Dracula with Bela Lugosi, and Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, and Bride of Frankenstein, and then The Blob, and like I mentioned earlier, Mark of the Vampire, and then Werewolf versus Vampire Woman's another one, and then Spooks Run Wild, which stars the East Side Kids and Bela Lugosi, and then Ghost on the Loose is another East Side Kids, Bela Lugosi collaboration where it's a haunted house horror comedy from the 40s.
Okay. Cool.
And then A Christmas Story. There's so many. But I'm gonna move on with the chat.
Okay.
Travels and More with Jason. You must mean black and white war films I can watch again and again, as some are very good and hold up still.
Right.
And Andrew, we know Monkeyboy has the complete Mr. Men collection.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
And Travels and More with Jason. One film I not watched since I saw it in the cinema is the remake of Dunkirk, as that is a bad film. The original is 1,000 times better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen the the newest one. I haven't seen the original.
And Travels and More with Jason Monkeyboy. I bet we got some of the same books as I got.
Oh,
Kuntz books and other books.
yeah. I had a lot of Dean Koontz. I haven't got the most sort of recent few because I kind of went off him a bit. Unfortunately, I think when he got a wig and shaved his moustache off, I thought he got a little bit weak. I wasn't so keen on his newer stuff, but certainly from the very beginning when he was writing as Lee Nichols, and then when he started doing horror stuff, I preferred him to Stephen King back in the day. Actually, I know it's probably a controversial opinion, but I thought he was better than Stephen King at one point. But I do like Stephen King. I've got a lot of his books, but he was never my favourite horror author. I thought Graham Masterton was very good at horror. But yes, Jason, I think we've probably got similar books. I know you read the Lee Child books. You've got some of those, and I think we both struggle with our attention at the moment. I find it very difficult reading books now. I have to read the same page over and over and over again because I just don't retain anything. I think it's because of the a head injury that I had several years ago. I haven't really been able to read books properly since, to be honest. Gerard's saying he approves of my the authors. Yeah, I guess we do have similar taste. Yeah. Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah. The Mind's Eye is a great it's a great palette for painting painting a story, as you said. Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with books at a very young age, so I was reading all sorts of things from for since I was a child, and it's only in the past maybe 4 years that I haven't really read much, as I say, because I don't seem to be able to retain anything. I started a Graham Masterton novel a few months ago, and I got about halfway through it, and I realized I didn't know who any of the characters were. I didn't recognize their names, and I just thought, I've read half a book and I've taken none of it in, and I was lost in the story. As by that I mean I was lost. I couldn't follow the thread of the story. I didn't know what was going on, so I gave up. I shall have to start that again, I dare say.
Okay. And Reynolds Review says, I've only seen 1 and 2, but apparently 3 is bobbin', so not watched it.
I think Luke might be talking about Godfather, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And Gerard
Hello,
O'Connor
Luke.
says, Lou.
Thanks for joining us. Luke. Luke's probably just back in from pickleball. I hope your pickleball went well, buddy.
And he says, laughing out loud, sorry, literally just repeated what Dave's just said. Laughing out loud. And Andrew, my friends and I went to see Godfather 3 in a snowstorm around Christmas. It was a miserable experience and didn't like the movie.
Right. Yeah.
And Reynolds Review says, Yo Gerard, and then Travels More with Jason Wright. Monkeyboy, what is your best Kuntz books you like? Me, is it Twilight Eyes and Odd Thomas?
Nope. My favorite Dean Koontz book, Jason, is Watchers, one of his earliest novels. It's about, well, I won't really say what it's about because it will probably give the story away, but it's one of the main characters is a dog, and it's a very, very creepy but very well written story. And actually, I think I'm right in saying this. It's one of Dean Koontz's favorite of his own novels, which I found out later. But Watchers is very good. I've read that a couple of times. I really did enjoy that. I'd like to read it again one day. Books are another thing that I can enjoy more than once. So I keep all my books as well. And there are some that I've read 2 or 3 times. I've read Dracula twice, and I've listened to it on audiobook about 15 times. So yeah, I do enjoy keeping books and reading them again. I read them once and then I leave them a few years and then I read them again. Do you want to read that comment, Tim?
Yeah, Andrew, I do like Vincent Price and The Last Man on Earth. Maybe it was seeing it on actual film projections, but I really liked it. Richard Matheson story it is from is also great. Yeah, it's based on Richard Matheson's I Am Legend.
Oh yeah.
And Travels More Jason, Luke, how are you? And Gerard O'Connor, Michael Keaton's Batman wore Nikes. Laughing emoji after that.
Yeah.
And Andrew, most shocking behind the scenes fact I learned, Beastman poos in the fridge. And that's one time where Beast Man needs to be beat. I'm sorry, but he needs to be beat for that.
It'll never happen again. It'll never happen again. I'm sure it can't happen for a third week in a row.
And then Gerard has like 3 laughing emoji faces, and Reynolds reviews. Apparently, George Papard was annoyed by the amount of attention Mr. T got from the show and away from A-Team because George was a classically trained actor and the others weren't.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. George Peppard was incredibly pissed off that Mr. T got all that attention, because obviously George Peppard was one of the biggest movie stars of his generation, wasn't he? He'd done things like Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I can't think of others at the moment, but I mean he did some really big roles, and he was incredibly annoyed that Mr. T took the limelight because he felt that he was the main drawer of the show, and of course he wasn't. Most people preferred Murdoch and BA, and possibly even Face. I mean, everyone thought Hannibal was a bit annoying. So yeah, he was very unkind to Mr. T, to the point where he wouldn't speak to him. He would speak to him through other people, but he wouldn't talk to him directly. And Mr. T was quite upset by it.
Yeah, and Travels More. Jason says totally spot on, Luke, and then Xantaris says, "Dang it! Why did I just get blocked when I tried to call Tim?" Are you commenting on my phone ringing earlier, Xantara?
Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you, my dear.
And
Madam, milady.
Gerard O'Connor says, so behind the scenes, a certain Brad Pitt found many a wife. Right. And Delvian Seek, what film had the biggest twist that blew your mind the first time you watched it?
I think probably... Oh, there's been a few actually that have really got me. I must say this isn't the biggest one probably, but I did not see the end of The Sixth Sense coming. I did not see that, and I heard very little about it before it came out, so there was no spoilers or anything like that. So I had no idea about that twist ending. So that one did actually get me. It was something that when I watched it again a second time, and it was quite obvious. There were so many clues peppered throughout the film, but I didn't see it coming. It really caught me on the hop. So I would say that The Sixth Sense was probably one of the main ones, but there have been a few films that have had twist endings. The film that I showed earlier on, if I can find it again, this one, the ending to Life. That was an ending that it didn't blow my mind because it didn't change the entire film, but it certainly was a very good ending that I wasn't expecting. And I think also when I watched what's that film where it's all backwards, where it plays backwards, not Irreversible, the Christopher Nolan one, Memento.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Memento being quite good, but I suppose that wasn't really a twist ending, more like a twist beginning. But that was quite good. What about you, Tim? Can you remember any twist endings that have really got you?
Well, might not exactly be a twist ending, but it was just the biggest twist that blew my mind the first time I watched it, was finding out in this movie that everybody dies by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think that pissed a lot of people off who were around my age. So when this got remade, there were people like me that were a bit happier that when they remade it, they fixed it to where you actually have somebody surviving.
I quite like the bleakness of the original. I quite like that.
And let's see, Gerard O'Connor. Good question, Delvian. Gotta be the usual suspects for me.
Yeah, that's a good
And
shout.
Travels and More with Jason. Sixth Sense for me.
Yeah.
And Delphian Oh, good choices. Mine at the time was Planet of the Apes, showing my age now.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And Gerard O'Connor says, I watch Christian Bale's Equilibrium over and over, but any other, love it.
Yeah, good film. I watched that a few weeks ago, actually.
And Reynolds review says the uncut version of Commando is class. And
where can I get the uncut version, Luke? I don't know if I've seen the uncut version. I love Commando. I think it's brilliant. It's not a great film, but I love it. I've seen that so many times. Ding 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 ding. Yeah, I love it. I love that close up of his watch when he falls off the when he drops off of out of the aeroplane and he lands in about 2 feet of water and then gets up and does that sort of look at his watch, and you get that really big close up of his watch. I love it. I love that watch shot.
And Andrew, a movie I rewatch often, but it is a smaller film, is Ghost Dog. I am not the biggest Jim Jarmusch fan, but that movie just works for me.
Ghost Dog. Is that the samurai one with Forrest Whitaker, or am I getting confused with something else? Pop in the pop a comment and let me know if it's the Forrest Whitaker samurai one, Andrew.
And
it rings a bell.
Gerard O'Connor says Christian Bale. Travels more with Jason. Yes, I thought he was better than Stephen King. He's talking about Dean Koontz and Travels More with Jason. Yes, both very good books, got made into 3 films back in the 80s. And Xantara, the 4 Watchers movies are all pretty fun. Andrew,
I haven't seen those, Xantara.
Watchers by Dean Koontz reminds me of reading the phrase watcher or cock as English slang, but I don't know how to pronounce it or really what it means. P.S. The Stroker book, Dracula, works great in audio.
He's saying that Dracula works great as an audiobook. Yeah, it does. If you can get a version where the author reads it at a sensible pace, and knows how to read that kind of prose, because it needs to. I mean, it's not Shakespeare, but it does need to be delivered in a certain way. And Bram Stoker's Dracula, because it's out of copyright. It's been made into an audiobook so many times, but if you can find one where the person reading it is reading at a good pace, it is really enjoyable to listen to. But I have heard some awful recordings of it that I just couldn't get past the first couple of sentences because it was just read horribly. But yeah, it's a great book.
And Andrew says, Monkeyboy, is watcher cock something people say or just something in books set in England?
I mean, watcher cock. I I don't think people really. I mean, I suppose people might have said it back in the 60s, maybe in the East End of London. Watch your cock. All right, cock. Watch your cock. But no, I don't really. I don't think people generally say that. I think it's more of a stereotypical thing that. I mean, that's the kind of thing that Dick Van Dyke probably would have come out with circa Mary Poppins, but I don't believe it's something that is generally said.
And Travels More with Jason. I did not know that they did 4 movies. I will have to find them. Thank you, Xantara.
Yeah, I didn't know they'd done. I knew they'd made a film of the novel, but I didn't realize there was more than one.
And Andrew says, maybe 10 years back I ran into Mr. T at my local grocery. Normally I leave celebrities alone, but I had to tell him that I appreciated how positive he was. He said, thank you, brother. I loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's brilliant. Fantastic.
And Reynolds Review says, Usual Suspects was a brilliant twist ending.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
And then Travels More with Jason says, now I heard the difference with the original Battlestar Galactica, that Green was a granddad with all the young cast, and they got on as a family. Find that out when I ask a question at Comic-Con in 2018.
Oh.
Or he found that out when he was at Comic-Con in 2018. And then we have Kim Jonick in the chat. Evening all. And
Kim.
And Jason says to her, hi, Kim Jonick. And Xantara says,
it's Kim Gonick, Tim.
Kim Gonick. Yeah. And Xantara says, the ending of the first Saw movie floored me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Andrew, Ghost Dog is a samurai one with Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I am aware of it. I'll keep my eye out for that and give that a go. It's been one that I've wanted to watch several times, but haven't really got round to it.
And Johnny Sorensen says Timmy. And Andrew, I remember The Crying Game was another twist ending that caught people off guard.
Yeah.
And Xantara at Travels More with Jason. The 4th movie is called Watchers Reborn from 1998 and stars Mark Hamill.
Oh. All right.
And E. Theodore Goodwin at Andrew. And then Travels and More with Jason. Tim just called me Jason. It'd be easier. Yes, it's easier to read. Just to read Jason.
Cool.
And
what's next, Tim? What's next? Are we up to date or?
Wait a minute. Kim Gonick. I thought Law Abiding Citizen had a good twist ending.
Law Abiding Citizen. Is that the one with Gerard Butler in? I think that's the Gerard Butler one, isn't it?
Yeah, is that Gerard Butler, Kim?
I've not seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Sorry. Yeah, she says yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one that I've got on the list that I haven't got around to yet. Yeah. Cool.
And Andrew.
Any more questions, anyone?
Yeah, Andrew says the documentary Deliver Us from Evil hits really hard if you want a very intense ride.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if that's on Netflix here.
And Kim Gonick, it's good but starts off quite gory.
Ooh. I don't mind a bit of gore. Quite like a bit of gory business. Don't mind that at all. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions from the chat room? It looks like we're starting to get a few things. Kim Gonick, did everyone have a happy Halloween? Yeah, it was all right. It was cold last night, and we only had 8 trick-or-treaters. And I was tired last night, so I had to go to bed early.
No, I had a reasonable Halloween. It was okay. Nothing amazing. Just watched a couple of films, and I was out in the evening helping a local community event. I was helping people. I was handing out glow sticks and generally shining the torches into areas where people might fall over so that they didn't break their necks. Oh, okay. Thanks, Luke. I'll give that a look.
Yeah, law-abiding citizen, so I gotta give it a go once I get a chance.
Okay.
And let's see. And Jason says, Dave, what do you think of Richard Lawless? Was he also Kuntz, as book style was very the same?
I haven't read any Richard Lawless. I've never heard of Richard Lawless, mate. Sorry, dude. Don't know.
And Reynolds reviews, how about your biggest disappointment in a movie you were massively looking forward to?
Oh, there's been a few of those. Force Awakens, the obvious one. What else? I know there have been a few. I was really looking forward to Nightmare on Elm Street 6. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I was looking forward to that, and it was shit. What else? I was very much looking forward to the recent Evil Dead Rise. I went to see that at the cinema and was very disappointed in that. And I suppose I was a little disappointed in John Wick 4, but only a little. It was okay. But there's probably been a number of films that I've been looking forward to that weren't very good. I mean, I was disappointed in the first Transformers movie, the Michael Bay one. That really did, that annoyed me. That made me cross.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's been a few. What about you, Tim? Any ones that have let you down?
South Park, the movie, I thought was going to be so much funnier, but I kept hearing from people, oh no, that had seen it, that were just upset by it. So they didn't think it would, they thought the show was funnier than the movie. And
Right.
yeah, I had to agree. I think when they made it uncensored, where they had to show a bunch of animated sex and nudity, and then they had to unbleep all the cuss words that just took something away from the show.
Right.
Because with the show, you could tell anyway when they were cussing, even if they bleeped it out.
Yeah.
But it just got to the point where they just went overboard, and it wasn't funny anymore.
Right.
They just tried a little bit too hard to be funny, and it just lost everything.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then they tried to go overboard with the show by seeing how much they could push, so it just got to the point of shock value humor.
Right.
I mean, it was a little bit of sick adult humor before, but they went a little bit overboard.
Right. Yeah.
I knew it was going to be rated R, but I didn't think that they were going to go freaking overboard on trying to be offensive.
Right. Yeah, I think there's been quite a few films that I felt let down by. I was quite let down by The Lady in the Water, the M. Night Shyamalan man, because he sort of established himself as being, quite a good director. And I remember watching The Lady in the Water, and I'd seen the trailer, and I thought, oh, this is going to be really scary, and it's going to be amazing. And it was a complete letdown. And it was the same with Signs as well. The crop circle-y, alien-y, Mel Gibson-y film. That was also a letdown.
That seemed to scare my dad when it came out on home video.
Oh, okay. I mean, it had a couple of good moments in it, but ultimately was a letdown. I think a lot of films sort of fail in the third act. They start off well, they've got a good middle, and then the ending is a bit of a letdown. Yeah. Santara's saying it was record-breaking cold in the Midwest USA on Halloween. Oh, and she's having a Halloween get-together next weekend. Okay.
Instead, when it will be warmer.
Yeah. Well, cool. Why not?
And
Why not? Maybe have a
Jason,
great time.
Yeah, and Jason says, for me, it was Last Jedi, laughing out loud, but also The Village was a big letdown. Yeah, and I think the Blair Witch Project was a bit of a bummer for a bunch of people because it was really hyped up to be this great independent horror movie and hyped as being the scariest movie since The Exorcist, but it didn't seem to be as good as a lot of people thought it would be.
No. I remember seeing it at the cinema and coming out being disappointed that I wasn't frightened. Again, it had a couple of moments that were quite creepy, but way overhyped. I think that's the problem with when you expect too much of a movie, and you're really, really up for it, and it just doesn't deliver.
Yeah, and I heard that because they were using like a shaky camera in the film, that it caused motion sickness for some people watching it in the theater.
Yeah.
So when they released it to home video, they couldn't release it in a widescreen format because the widescreen format would cause motion sickness for some people.
Oh, okay.
That way you didn't see that shaky camera as much in a pan and scan format.
Right, okay.
And more from Jason. I am shocked, Dave, that you not heard of Richard Lawless, I always thought that he was also Dean Koontz. His writing styles was very much the same.
No, sorry, man. Never heard of him.
And Reynolds' review says, I was massively buzzed for another Matrix movie, and dang, it was god awful.
Yeah, I heard that was awful, so I avoided it.
And Gerard O'Connor says, I love when you take a punt on a movie you know nothing about, and it really pays off and entertains.
Yeah, I like that too.
What's he mean, take a punt on a movie?
Take a punt. He means like take a chance on a movie that you don't know anything about.
Yeah.
A punt is like it means like take a chance.
Yeah. And Kim Gonick says, I feel making series into movies never works. They lose details that get more time on a series.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it happens with a lot of series, doesn't it? They just can't cram it all into a 90-minute, 2-hour runtime, and it flops. I mean, there are some exceptions. I mean, the Starsky and Hutch movie was very good, and obviously that was based on a TV series. But yeah, most of the time it's a bit of a gamble that doesn't pay off.
And Jason says totally Kim, and then Kim Gonick says, "Oh, I signs freaked me out." And Travels more with Jason. What about Happening?
Oh yeah, The Happening. That was one of those films that was good at the for the first two parts, and then the ending was just woof. Gerard saying Sin City 2 was a major disappointment. After the first one being awesome. Yeah, the first Sin City was great. Second one, yeah, big letdown. Yeah.
And Andrew says, low expectations are the best.
Yeah.
And Andrew says, I seem to like it better when I have low expectations. I also suspect that people enjoy me more when they go in with low expectations.
Yeah, I think it's always better that way, isn't it? If you go in expecting it to be a bit yeah, and then it's actually really, really good. That's always a nice feeling, rather than going in being really excited and then being let down.
Yeah, and Andrew says, my sister took me to the first Bill and Ted movie randomly. I knew nothing about it, but she took me to the movie spur of the moment one evening. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And Travels more with Jason. Kim, could you imagine if they redid Harry Potter as a TV series? So much of the later books was missing. And Gerard O'Connor, do it.
I think that's it. I think he's referencing Starsky and Hutch.
And Kim,
there's a good scene in Starsky and Hutch where they keep saying that.
And Kim Gonick, they are doing Harry Potter as a series by HBO. And Gerard O'Connor, Stiller and Wilson are great in Starsky and Hutch. And
yeah.
Andrew, now I feel it is hard to see a movie without knowing anything about it. Marketing is everywhere.
Yeah. Are we up to date, Tim?
see.
I think
we are. Yes. Oh, and Nick's coming. Hi, Nick.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hello, Nick. Hello, dude.
How are you?
I'm all right, man. Not bad. What
If,
you saying? What you up to?
Not a lot. If I suddenly say, if you suddenly hear a phone ring and I say I've got to go, it's because I'm on call tonight because I'm like on something called Storm Watch. So if something comes in through work and they call me, gotta go.
Okay.
Kind of hoping it doesn't because I don't fancy getting cold and wet. But listening to it picking up out there, it wouldn't surprise me if I do get a phone call.
Yeah, it's going to be really bad tomorrow, apparently, across the country.
So how are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing all right, I think. Yeah, not too bad. Fair to middling, as they say.
I did send the link to young Kim Gonick because I know it's a private link, but I know me and Tim have spoke before, and Kim's sort of in the group of people we trust. So whether she comes on or not, I don't know, but we'll see. And if she does, she'll probably just look like a floating potato.
Yeah, and Travels More, Jason asked, what about Dukes of Hazzard?
I can't remember if I've seen the film or not. If I saw the film, then it obviously didn't make an impression on me.
And Jason saying you're late, Nick, and Andrew about to inject the live stream with Big Nick energy.
Well, I'm bigger than I used to be 5 years ago, but that's donuts and fizzy pop. So
yeah, but you looked gorgeous with that eyeshadow.
Well, I'm sorry about notifications dinging on my phone. I can't turn the bloody volume off my phone tonight. I do apologize.
That's all right.
I think I took to wearing makeup too well, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but you said you're like the only boy in your family, so I'm wondering if your sisters had to practice doing makeup on you.
I've been dressed up, dolled up, putting you name it. My sisters used me as a little dolly, and then what? If in the podcast, I also tell a story about how I got into Rocky Horror. So there's nothing shocks or worries or concerns me. So yeah, it was hard to take off. Monkey was there afterwards when I disappeared for 5 minutes, and I came back complaining that my face was burning because I used this makeup remover. So my face was like, my eyes really stung, man. Mm-hmm. And then yeah, it's fortunate that I didn't take. Unfortunately for Monkey, I took all the top. I was like, I can't wear lace anymore.
Well, this Jason's just asking, did you put on a dress? But it wasn't a dress, was it? But you did put on some sort of lace number.
Yeah, Jason.
Can Tim, can you share pictures? Because if you can share pictures, I could probably send a picture of exactly what I was wearing.
I don't know if I can share pictures on here or not.
You should be able to.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Jason, I've got you on Insta. I'll send you a picture of it. So if you get a picture of
it would be easier.
Don't be alarmed.
Yes, I haven't ever shared pictures on here before. And I am not feeling that great today. I'm just tired.
Tim, are you able to hold down the fort while I just go and take the old python for a siphon?
Okay.
Is that all right?
I knew that term was coming. I thought you were going to say siphon the python. I predicted
siphon
it.
The python. Yeah, I didn't. Well, I was going to say what my dad used to say, and that he used to say, "I've got to go and turn my bike round." But yeah, if you guys don't mind, because I'm absolutely bursting, so I'm going to go now.
Yeah,
I'll be back
to the bathroom, please.
Oh dear. So, how have you been, Tim? What's happened in the last 7 days since we spoke, my friend? Much been going on?
Not a whole lot. Just things been slow, boring. Not a whole lot going on.
Well, yeah, life can be a bit like that. It's there's sort of a little lull now, isn't there? Before, because we sort of had Halloween, so that excitement's gone, and now we're sort of in that little lull before the kick to Christmas, aren't we? Where it's all going to go off again. So, yes, it's exciting because I'm now looking for presents to get my son, which indirectly are presents for me. That's the amazing thing with having a 9-year-old, especially when they're into play. He wants the A-Team Playmobil stuff, and I ain't gonna say no. It means I get to play with A-Team Playmobil on Christmas, which is pretty cool. It's quite a few. Seems to be quite a few in the chat tonight, Tim.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's good. That's good, man. It's a good chill stream, man. You're building it up well. It's awesome.
And Travels More Jason America got Thanksgiving before Christmas. Yes, we did.
Oh my God. That was quite the live stream I just did.
And
see what I did there? See what I did there?
What's Jason mean by nice one, Nick?
I could be wrong, but I think he's referring to me saying that I'm excited to buy Jackson A-Team Playmobil for Christmas, which just means I get to play with A-Team Playmobil for Christmas.
That's awesome. Wicked.
Like kids are great. They're brilliant. You get to buy toys so that you can play with them. And if you fart in public, you can blame it on them. It's amazing.
That A-Team Playmobil, that'll be coming up on the channel quite soon because I haven't actually opened mine yet. I've had it for ages, but I haven't opened it yet. So I look forward to diving into mine.
There will be some Playmobil fans out there who would like shiver and tremor if they saw the state of Jackson's Ghostbusters Playmobil house at the moment. But it's quite beat up. But then he is a kid, and it was bought for a kid. So that's the only thing you have to be able to do as like a dad. Like when you hand these toys over, because obviously we're all a little bit like, oh, don't lose parts, don't. Yeah. You have to sort of let go of that and say, this isn't mine. I must let him enjoy childhood just like I did, and that means sometimes crashing Ecto-1 into the skirting board at high speed.
Oh, so he's got the Firehouse as well, the Playmobil one.
He's got all of the first series of the Playmobil Ghostbusters stuff, and they also he's got some. Is it the second series where they did some stuff from the second film? And then he's got Playmobil also released some that were based on more on the cartoon. So he's got a few bits from that. It's so they released the actual Ghostbusters figures looking more in the colours and design of what they were in the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Oh, okay. What, in Playmobil?
Yeah, you can get them in that style. So Egon, rather than having the dark hair, he's got the blonde hair and that.
Oh, cool.
Pretty cool.
I'll have to look that up because I don't have those. I thought I had most of the Ghostbusters stuff. I've got all the the Ecto-1s and the fire station and I don't have the small fire station play set, but I think I've got everything else. But I didn't know they did a real Ghostbusters one, so I shall have to investigate that.
Yeah, man, I can send you some pictures and stuff. Oh, in other news, look who it is.
Hey, Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hi.
Hello. Go on. You were saying, Nick, in other news?
I was going to say, in other news this week, they've released a new handheld device which comes out, and it's going to cost about £65 delivered. And basically, it's not portrait, it's not landscape, it's more in the design of a Game Boy, But
Right.
my God, has it got a powerful chip in it, and it will play absolutely everything you want.
I don't like the idea of it being like a Game Boy though. I like the sideways one.
Scratch that then. Scratch that then.
Oh,
We'll move on from that.
what size screen has it got?
Same size as my one, 3.5 inch.
Oh,
Which sounds small, but it's not. It's not, because when you think what the original, I've shown you mine. It's not.
yeah.
You know, it's like full. I have no. The thing is, we're in the age where everyone's talking about phones. Like, oh, my phone's got a 7-inch screen, but that doesn't relate to like handheld devices. So.
Mind you, this new handheld thing that you speak of, I mean, that's half the price of the unit that you've got.
And the exact same processor chip and same power and same everything.
Right. Okay.
But it's whatever you like, man. It's whatever you like. But I feel I need to shut up now and let Kim say hello. I'll step away.
How you doing, Kim?
I'll
How was
hide.
your Halloween?
It was fine. I was out for dinner with colleagues.
Ah, yes, of course. And how was
But
that? Was it all right?
We left at 9 o'clock because I'd had enough.
Oh.
They were very loud.
Right.
When you spend 3 days with the same people, you're just like, no, I don't want to see you anymore.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it
Oh,
can be
well,
difficult when
free dinner.
Yeah, I got fishing. I got free fish and chips on Monday and free Italian yesterday.
So, just before I forget, I just want to reference something Andrew said. Is Playmobil durable? I feel like adventure people could really take a beating, but I think they've bitten. But I think I may have bitten a few of them. Playmobil is super durable, I believe, for what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's
And
very
Jared
robust.
says
It's made very well. It's not flimsy stuff. It's meant to be bundled.
Yeah, it's made
out.
for young kids. Jared says if it plays Tetris, it's a winner in my book. Yeah, I've got 2 like little handheld devices, and I play, and that's pretty much Tetris and Columns is a regular mainstay for me.
Columns, I loved Columns. That was brilliant.
I got to level 192 the other night, and I don't know how I managed it. It was so fast.
Nice.
And it sounds like I wish I posted it on Facebook, but I couldn't take a screenshot of it because it was on my thing. What could I do?
Oh.
I just kept getting, in Columns, when it gets to the top. See, Columns is different to Tetris because you get to the top and too high, it's really hard. But Columns, you can drop one block, then all of a sudden it goes ding, 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 ding. And you have a massive. I seem to get really lucky on that game.
Yeah.
So my previous high score was 160 something.
Cool. I'm looking forward to getting one of those Amber Nick devices. Yeah, I think I'll have good times. Hope so. I don't know what my reactions are like these days, so I might not be anywhere near as good as I used to be at games, but I think I'll enjoy it.
It comes back, man, because games like Tetris and Columns, it sounds boasty, but I'm very good at those games. But when I first started playing them a couple of months ago, I was a bit crap, but it sort of came back.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely getting one of those soon.
Jared says something like, really enjoyed the Tetris movie. Also, is there a Tetris movie?
Tetris?
No. He says if it plays Tetris, it's a winner in my book.
I know there's a lower one that says about a Tetris movie. He could be pulling our leg, or there could be a Tetris movie, and I just have no idea. Do you think you would get the new Ghostbusters that Hasbro is doing for 300?
No.
It's a hard pass from me, I think.
Is that the proton pack and the PKE meter?
I must admit, I'm really I'm really terrible for not keeping up with new things like that. I seem to be. I'm more focused on my vintage stuff. So I don't really see modern stuff unless someone does a video on it and it catches my eye, or unless I'm in a shop and I see it. I don't search it out, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would have liked the Ghostbusters proton pack and neutrona wand. I would have liked those, but it was a bit too expensive at the time. I'm kicking myself now for not backing it, because I really would like that. But never mind.
In other news this evening, I found my Genghis frog, which is a Turtles toy. Right. I found his glasses on the floor, and my kitten has chewed. Well, he's not so much kitten; he's chewed into them. So I was super peeved this evening, and I very nearly made a hat out of him.
Oh dear.
Yeah, because I can pick up Genghis frogs all day long for 5-6 quid, but you try getting the bloody accessories for them.
Yeah.
Turtles, man, buy them complete, because the accessories will kill you.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So, yes, Nick wasn't a happy bunny earlier. Sorry to refer to myself in the third person.
So what had happened? Had they fallen off Genghis frog?
Do you know, there was a very tiny small crack in the side of them, and I was going to do a microfine repair on them, a la Toy Polloi style, and just get them so they fit. And he's obviously took them off my shelf over there, because Kim's seen video. He picks them and he's chewed through. He's bit his tooth straight through them.
Shit.
Yeah, not happy.
Oh dear.
So grumpy bunny tonight with the cat. And then I was eating a pack of crisp. I went out the room to Carla called me for something, and I come back in the room and he literally had his head in the pack of crisp, eating my crisp.
Excellent.
So if anyone wants a year-old black cat, just PM me. I'll send him you in a box. I keep offering him to Kim, but she doesn't want him.
I'm allergic.
You what? Sorry?
I'm allergic.
I'd say I didn't. I'd have thought. I don't know. I guess I am wrong. I'd have thought that if one was allergic to cat fur, then guinea pig fur would cause problems as well.
No. Different saliva.
Guinea pig fur isn't as fine, and it doesn't. I don't think guinea pigs have dander, do they? Or do they?
Well, the only reason people are actually allergic to cats is not actually from casting. It's because cats lick themselves. So it's the enzymes and stuff that's in the saliva that goes in the fur, which is what causes people to be allergic.
Well, given the amount of times he jumps in the bath or in the shower with you, Billy's pretty clean.
Yeah, that's not the point, though. I'm fine with them as long as I don't touch them and then directly touch my face.
Everyone needs a panda pencil sharpener. Everyone needs a panda pencil sharpener.
Excellent.
Sorry, couldn't resist. That was an intrusive thought that I just allowed to run.
I'm feeling more concerned that you have a panda pencil sharpener.
It's not mine.
Yeah.
Do you have to stick the pencil up its arse?
You have to stick it in the nose. So Jack's obviously, this is the state of his colouring pen. So you've got to stab him in the face, and then.
Oh no.
I don't know if stabbing in the face is any better, to be honest.
That's crazy.
I didn't design it.
Or are you stabbing it in the face or putting it in its mouth?
No, you're stabbing it in the nose. You literally like there's like it's nose.
Okay, so
height as well. You
basically, even if it's nose or its mouth, it's still not actually really very child friendly, really.
No.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, it looks like Jax has tried to colour his face in with crayon. He's got all black smudges on him. So,
Do you think when they make
Yeah.
stuff for kids, they secretly try and make it in a way that adults find it hilarious?
Maybe, yeah. What was that
Yeah, 'cause
toy
it's
that had
adult.
the big gun that came out of the crotch? What was that? I can't remember what
The
it was.
Punisher.
That's
the
it,
Punisher
yeah.
transforming toys, and literally it was like he had a giant on him, didn't he? Didn't know if I could say that on. I was going to say Wang, but
That's all right. Tim said it earlier on anyway. He was talking about, what was that film you had, Tim? Cockfight.
Yeah, cockfighter.
Or you could just call it by its biological name.
do you know what?
That's what
If you-
Whiplash
if you
does
call-
every week.
If you call body parts by their actual like scientific biological name, I find if I was to go to the doctors and I had to say I've got a problem with this part of my body, insert whatever it is, that's embarrassing. I find that more embarrassing than going in and using the slang.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
That's just weird. So maybe
It's
just because it
a man
doesn't sound
thing.
very nice.
Say that again.
Maybe it's just because it doesn't sound very nice.
Maybe. You know, like, let's be honest. If you were having pain in those body parts, you'd go in and you'd just walk in. The doctor, such a monkey, will agree with me. You'd just go, "Doc, I've got ball ache." That's what you'd say, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you'd say. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
And they'd know what you mean. You'd know what you mean, and everyone would be fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose. I'm too tired to care.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
Jason's
last
talking
time-
about the figure that had the hand movement that looks like it was
That was Tarzan, wasn't it?
jerking off.
Yeah, I think it was Tarzan.
There's
That's
been
brilliant.
some howlers over the years, though, haven't there, for
Yeah,
toys?
but you know that it got through so many meetings and that someone spotted it early on and just went, right, I'm not saying anything. Let's see how far this goes.
Look, if you were a toy designer, you'd be up for ultimate bants, wouldn't you? And you would be like, "What can I get through here?" I had a Lion King book when I was a kid. It's one of these ones where do you remember the panel down the side? You press the buttons
yeah.
corresponding to what it said.
Yeah.
And is it Rafiki, the monkey in it?
Yeah.
And you press this button, and it wasn't just me. The adults used to laugh, and it was like his little finger, "Sampisana, squash banana." But on this book, it sounded like "squash banana up my bum hole," or whatever it was, or something like that. That's what it sounded like. It wasn't bum hole. I edited it, but everyone used to laugh when they hear it, and you think someone probably heard that in the final thing and was like, "Yeah, fine, send it out." But another funny story for toys. Years ago in the UK, like my sisters, 3 of my sisters worked at Pizza Hut at the same time through like college and whatever. And Pizza Hut had this dog mascot that used to be on like their kids menu. So for a promotion, what they did was they did this little miniature stuffed dog, and if you squeezed one paw, you could record a message for like 5 or 10 seconds, and if you squeezed the other paw, it would play it back.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
They got a memo from head office saying, "Please check all the dog toys before you send them out, because we've had complaints." Because basically the people in the factories were recording them saying obscene things before they pack them up.
Excellent.
So before they send them out, I had one. My sisters they were laughing about it. So it's a proper serious like moment that went out, and before they give these toys out with the kids like menu meals or whatever, they had to like just record it saying hello or something, because apparently like literally hundreds, if not thousands of them would say like you and all this stuff. The kids would get. They press the floor at the table.
Excellent.
And you think, why would anyone do that?
There's nothing like industrial sabotage with small toys. That's good.
The thing is, Monkey, you know, if you worked in that factory, you might well be tempted into hijinks.
Probably. But I don't think I would say rude things, but I would say very odd things. Very odd things. Gerard had an interesting comment just a moment ago. Hang on, let me see. Gerard says there are 12 body parts with only 3 letters. Can we name them? Well, I can name quite a few. Let's see how many we can get. Ear,
Toe,
lip, toe, yeah.
Lip.
Said lip.
Bum.
Leg.
Leg.
Arm. Eye. Ear.
I think you already said ear.
Oh shit! Did I?
Yeah.
We'll have to start again because I can't remember.
Yeah. And
shall I get a pen? Shall I get a pen? Shall we write this down? I'm right by a pen and paper.
No, we should be able to do this. We're 4 adults. We should be able to do this. Right,
dude. Have you heard us when we talk on a stream? We're incoherent at best.
Right, let's start again. Right.
Yeah, there's
let's start at the top of the body and work down, and then we should be okay. So, eye, ear, lip, arm, leg. I'll have to start at the top again. Oh, toe. You said toe, Nick, didn't you? So that's 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got so many like ones which are slang names, but they're rude.
Can we have tit? Can we have tit?
Arse.
Not really a body part.
It's not a body part.
Not really a body part.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I've seen them in real life.
But that's not how we say it though.
If you get rid of the K, you could have knob.
And I don't think you can say ass because I think that's 4 letters in the British English.
I don't think we can do it then, Gerard. We've definitely got 6. We've got 6 keepers.
He says no.
That's true. Jared said jaw.
Oh, jaw. Good one. Jaw,
and then gum. He also said gum.
Yeah, he said. Gerard says bum, you're fired, Nick, but he says jaw, no tit, and gum.
Hip.
Hip,
hip.
Nice.
Hop. Hip hop. Should make a rap out of these.
Not giving any more. Well, I think that's like 4. That was like 3 more after they came up with 6, so it's 9. So there should be 4 more.
Kim, you are like proper, super bright and intelligent and better educated than most. Come on, save us.
Yeah, but I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
So I'm just looking through the list here. Jaw, gum, hip, lip.
Isn't ass? Or is that not counting? Since that would be 4 letters for in British English.
Or just bum. Straight up bum.
Yeah, he said bum, you're fired, Nick.
Oh, right. Bye. Sorry. Monkey, can you point the finger at me, a la Alan Sugar?
Yeah. Xantar says rib, and travels more with Jason
Oh,
says
rib.
bum. Pit
Rib, yeah,
as
well done,
in
Pantara. Rib.
armpit.
Yeah, I don't know if we can have pit. We can definitely have rib though. Rib is okay.
How many are we on?
I think if we include rib, I think we're on 10. So we need 2 more.
Nip.
Are there any internal things? Because Zantara said rib, so we've gone inward. Lid short for eyelid. I don't know if we can have that. I don't know if we can count it and
I don't
lid.
think so.
Ooh. Well, sorry, who posed this question again? Thank you for showing us up to be complete idiots.
It was
That was
Gerard
right.
O'Connor.
I think we did reasonably well. I mean,
Yeah, we lost Kim.
oh, Kim's gone.
Oh, Kim's vanished. She'll be back. She'll be back. Why wouldn't she be back?
Jason spotted your other tiger.
Oh yeah, Oswald, Baldy, Ozzy, Bodo, Baldy. Oh, he said nope. He just he didn't growl. He doesn't growl. He's not an aggressive cat. He just went rah, as in to say, "Don't touch me."
Nope.
He's quite literally got his head up his arse, like you know when they sleep, like. Oh. Such a cute cat. Excuse me. So yeah, any other fun things? Oh, I'll tell you what I could do. Look,
We got.
Did you get the last? Did you get the last 2?
No, we didn't know.
Eva, is anyone here? Now on Saturday night, I did like I'm just jumping in, I'm just destroying everything here, taking over the blooming show.
As usual.
I did a charity. Yeah, cheers, mate. I did a stream, and I did an 80s and 90s pop trivia stream, right? Look what I've got next to me. If anyone's willing, if anyone's daring, I could ask you all one 80s question and just see how good you are with your 80s musical knowledge. I reckon Tim would be a sleeper on this. I reckon he would destroy everyone.
No,
I don't know.
I wouldn't be very good with 80s music, actually. I didn't really get into music until the 90s.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
but he's got a 90s quiz as well. Why would you don't encourage him?
Well,
Don't worry.
if all the questions are about Iron Maiden, I might be all right.
Mm.
When I got into music, I mean, I liked, when I was younger, I liked Michael Jackson, and I suppose stuff like Bananarama and the Bangles, stuff like that. But I didn't really get into music as such until the 90s, and that's when I discovered Iron Maiden and got into them. And then it was a very quick.
Did you just say Bananarama as in one of my favorite like groups?
Yeah.
That was a Bananarama question on Saturday, and no one got it.
Oh,
I was like,
oh, yeah. No, I'm
Not everybody likes Bananarama.
Bananarama were brilliant.
But there's 100. I'm not going to take you through it, but there's 100 questions in this 90s box, right? And Carla went through them with me, and I only got 8 wrong, which I thought was pretty good.
Well, that's all right.
We went through the 80s one, and I reckon I probably got 25 out of 100 right. I was like, it was completely different. I was like, oh, I don't know.
I don't think I'd do well on either, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but we sort of grew up 90s, didn't? Well, 90s is my It's my era, isn't it? I mean, I was born 84, but
Yeah.
3rd of November 1984, I was released on the planet, and poor planet.
Yeah. No, you're a little bit younger than Tim and I, so we probably would have. I mean, because you probably would have been getting into toys around Turtles or something like that, whereas I was getting out of toys around them.
I was, but the one advantage I had was that my oldest sister, Julianne, who's like 6 years older than me, it's probably not the PC term now, but she was a traditional tomboy, and she was into Motu, Transformers. She got me into Thundercats, Ghostbusters.
Oh, cool.
So I sort of, through her, I knew what those toys were, and I had those toys myself, you see. So from her,
I'm younger than all of you.
Motu collection. But you're a proper baby. You're only like 33, aren't you?
Yeah.
Wow. God, I can't even remember being 33. What's Zantara
It's amazing.
saying? Zantara saying she could do great on 80s music trivia, but she would bomb out with 90s. She hated the 90s. Yeah, I didn't really like 90s music at all, but I that's when I got into Maiden, which arguably were, from the 80s. But I moved on from them quite quickly, and I took some really big jumps. I went from Maiden to Pantera, and then from Pantera to Marilyn Manson, and then Marilyn Manson to something else, and I ended up with being into sort of death metal and progressive metal. So I should have been listening to sort of Metallica and Megadeth and Judas Priest, stuff like that when I was listening to Maiden, but I listened to Maiden exclusively for a while, and then when I moved on completely. So
I remember seeing Iron Maiden at Reading Festival. It was incredible.
Oh, cool. I saw them at a very, very small venue here in Norwich because I think one of their tour managers or something was from Norwich, and whenever they were about to do a new world tour, they would do a warm-up show at a very small venue here in Norwich under a different name, so nobody knew it was them. And we got the tip off, and went to see them in a venue that must have held, I want to say, maybe 100, 150 people. So it was such a really, really small venue, and we were just feet away from them. And at the end of the gig, I was speaking to the drummer, Nico McBrain, and I said, any chance of getting a signature or getting an autograph? And he said, I can do you one better. He said, if you go and ask my drum tech if he needs a hand, give him a hand to pack the drum kit away. He'll give you a set of sticks, and I'll sign those for you. So I helped his drum tech pack his kit away, and then got a set of signed sticks.
Well, in a weird way, the drummer's symbol from Iron Maiden almost cut one of my toes off once.
Oh, that's not good.
So
what happened there?
My friend Sean used to be in a band called Electric Wizard, and he joined my band.
Stop it.
I'm sorry.
Electric Wizard are a sweet, they're a doom band. But Sean, however it happened through touring, I think Sean literally toured all over the world with Electric Wizard. But Sean managed to acquire, I'm not quite sure how, a symbol that used to be a symbol for Iron Maiden's drummer, right? And this wasn't like a little symbol. This was a bloody great big thing. This symbol was so big, he used to have to counterbalance the stand with this whacking great big chain.
All right.
so that the stand didn't fall over. Anyway, we've done band practice. I'm walking out, and Knobhead Ear's got hold of the cymbal between his hands like that. It's summer, so my hands are sweaty. I've got
Right.
shorts on, vest, flip-flops. The cymbal slips out of my hands and lands smack bang across my toes.
Oof.
I had a cut across all my toes, but it was really deep on my little toe. And how it didn't cut my toes off is just unbelievable. That hurt.
It's a good thing when we evolve, we won't need little toes, won't it?
Soda Cauldron, Electric Wizard, they're class. They are class. So Sean Rutter, well, I've been friends with Sean for years. Sean ended up joining my band, Blut. And we were a Doom thing as well. Never big like Electric Wizard were, but they're out there. They're on Spotify. You can check out our stuff if you want. You don't have to. I wouldn't. It's terrible. If you're not into it.
Andrew's saying he got a drumstick from the drummer of Murphy's Law, but they're a much smaller outfit. He said they let people on the stage during their shows to stage dive. Yeah, that isn't so much a thing now, is it? They used to happen all the time, but I remember seeing a band once. We were watching a band called 1 Minute Silence, and the bass player was a right lunatic, and he was jumping about all over the stage. You know, I mean, he was like Zebedee. And there was at one point he ran and leapt off the front of the stage and spun around as if to land on the crowd to do a crowd surfing moment. Except he was doing it in Norwich, where where everyone just decided to move out of the way, and he landed flat on his back. And I think he did himself in, actually, and they were quite pissed off about it. And they were like, "Yeah, cheers for catching our bass player."
Well, the last time I stage dived was actually at an Electric Wizard gig in Bristol, and the video is on YouTube, and you can see that they're playing. I think they're playing Scorpio Curse, the song from Witch Cult Today, and you can see this like heavily tattooed arm at the front just doing that. It's this arm. You'll recognize those tattoos. You'll see it doing that. You see my arm, and then you just see this fat kid climb up on stage. That's me. And I just dive backwards into everyone. But I had really long hair at the time, so really long hair, like down to my bum long hair. Oh, I've been fired again. I said bum. I'm off. But no, used to go and see them. But I mean, if I said to you, Monkey, Tim, Kim, I know Kim could name a few because Kim has been to loads of amazing gigs. Could you name like your 5 favorite bands you've ever seen going around the room, or like 5 bands you've seen? They may not be your favorite, but there's a band I've seen which they're not my favorite band, but actually live they were incredible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I could do that.
Go for it.
Okay. Am I only allowed to pick 5?
Oh, go on, have 6, you cheeky bugger.
Iron Maiden, Pantera, Marilyn Manson, Insane Clown Posse,
Nice.
Pitch Shifter,
Nice.
and Poison the Well.
Very good choices.
They're the ones I would go with. Next.
Tim, have you got 5 or even if not 5 bands you've seen? If you haven't seen 5, but I don't know if you're into music, are there 5 bands you really like if you haven't seen that you could name?
Well, I haven't seen any bands other than on MTV or VH1. I mean,
okay, so for you, 5 bands you really like then?
I don't know. Oh, it's gonna be tough. I don't think.
Should we come back to you, Tim?
Should we start with 1, maybe?
Seems like most of the music I'm into, the bands aren't together anymore.
Oh, that's all right.
That's all right. 'Cause one of the bands I'm going to name isn't about anymore because the lead guy's been dead for 7 years.
Okay,
Nearly 8.
well, let's see.
Give you a hint.
I thought you'd fallen asleep then.
No, I'm still awake. But I'm trying to think.
Should we go to Kim then and come back to you, Tim? Give you some
Yeah,
time
go
to
to
mull
Kim.
it over. Go
Yeah,
on then,
go
Kim.
to
She's seen
Kim.
some class bands.
Go on, Kim.
I've got probably 7.
Do it then. Do it. Be a devil. Break the rules.
Foreigner, the Rolling Stones, Kiss, Deep Purple, Simple Minds, Alice Cooper, and Phil Collins.
Did you say Kiss?
Yes,
I'm gutted because they're doing their like final tour.
I saw
What's
Kiss like
happening?
a few years ago when they said they were doing their
Yeah.
end of the road tour.
Yeah, apparently they're doing their final tour. I'll never get to see Kiss, but is what it is. It's like I'll
But
probably
then-
never get to see AC/DC.
My dad went to see Black Sabbath before they completely separated.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
So
go on, then, Nick.
I'm actually going to struggle with 5 because I could name bloody loads, but top band ever, hence all the ink. Motorhead.
Motorhead.
Seen them multiple times. Love signed drum skin, Motorhead ink, yeah, mad on Motorhead. Iron Maiden. They were fantastic. Although not a band, although I don't love them, actually Green Day. I've seen them twice, and they were brilliant
Oh, yeah.
both times. They
Yeah,
were stunningly good musicians. So what we at now? 3. Marilyn Manson. I share with you on that one. He was amazing live. I wasn't going to say this one, but I see Jared's Queens of the Stone Age. They were wicked when I saw them. They were
Oh, yeah, they were
absolutely
good. Yeah, I've seen
incredible.
them. Yeah, they were very good. When we
Hmm.
saw them, the bass player was naked. He was naked.
I saw them after that guy had just got fired because they had the guy who used to have the long beardy thing, didn't he? And he used to like to swing his big Johnson around under his bass, didn't he? He was very proud of that thing.
Well, when we saw him, he was naked.
And he
he
got
had
fired for that?
He had
it's something else, but
he had a transparent bass guitar, a see-through bass guitar. I've got a see-through electric guitar, but this guy had a.
Can you
So, yeah,
don't recreate
transparent
it?
bass.
Don't recreate it. Don't.
So yeah. Anyway, carry on. Yeah.
So I think about 4. So, actually, do you know what? A band I love, but not my favorite band ever, but live they were brilliant. The Offspring were fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And to throw a cheeky sixth one in there, I bloody loved the Prodigy when I went to see them. I loved the Prodigy. Prodigy
Yeah.
were absolutely fantastic. They were
Yeah, they're good
banging.
live, but they had a live guitarist, didn't they, when they were playing live? And actually, the guitarist from the Prodigy was in Pitch Shifter.
Nice.
So yeah, they were phenomenal live. Really good.
There's honourable mentions. I mean, I'm going well over the 5. I mean, Deep Purple were fantastic. I saw the
I said
Eagles.
Deep Purple.
They were
That's
really
mine.
good.
Oh, I've seen the Eagles as well. I forgot about that.
I saw them on their farewell tour part 1.
Nice.
That's what it was called.
I've seen the Eagles too. I forgot about that.
They were supported by the Dixie Chicks.
Oh, cool.
That was at Twickenham.
I was quite spoiled because my first ever gig was a Marilyn Manson gig. And it was before they became massive, so they weren't very well known at all, and it was in quite a small venue. And yeah, that was I was going to tell an anecdote from that, but I probably won't do that on the stream actually, because I'm not sure if it's particularly appropriate. But yeah, it was quite something, I must say.
My first ever proper gig was and really strangely over the years I've become friends with the lead singer. Band called CKY. They used to do all the music for Bam Margera's videos and stuff, and they did like Flesh into Gear. And however it's happened over the years, I've somehow online cultivated a friendship with Durham Miller. I'm friends on Facebook. I don't know how that's even happened. But, yeah, I've seen CKY 2-3 times. Probably 2 times. They were really nice. What was good about them is they were a big enough band that, you know, they came over and they toured, but they weren't so big that they wouldn't come out at the end and like hang out with the fans, and I always really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Fun band I saw. My friend was the touring tattooist, because this is a thing tattooists do, and he toured with Bowling for Soup. So
I used to like Bowling for Soup.
Oh, I saw them when they still had Eric on bass and that, and they played at a place called the Opera House. Well, I think the Opera House. It was called in Boscombe, and we got to go backstage at the end of that. They were really nice guys. The lead singer's really, really fiercely shy, like uncomfortably shy.
Right.
So's the big guitarist, but the bass player was sound, and then he came over. Eric came over with some other guy from another band, and he did like a series of like unplugged gigs, and one of them he did was in my friend's tattoo shop in Salisbury. So we got to go to that, and I got absolutely steaming on this weird martini mixed drink. Carla's there's a picture of me hanging on to him, and one picture I'm leaning on him, kissing him. Another picture, he's kissing me on the cheek, and that's like reverse pictures of us picking each other up. That was a good fun night. But that was good. I enjoyed that.
Oh,
not the kissing with the part, but
what else have we done? We've done White Snake and Def Leppard as well, actually.
I think I've seen. It's awful to say. I'm convinced I've seen White Snake. But that's one of the ones that's blurry. I'll tell you a band who were fantastic, and they supported Deep Purple when I saw them, because we had the new incarnation of Thin Lizzy supporting, and Styx.
Oh, my dad likes Styx.
Styx were
yeah, my dad likes it. But then my dad likes a band called the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Amazing. He'd get on well with my father-in-law. My father-in-law's there's a band he loves called Ostrich Tentacles or something or other.
Do you know what? My dad does have to say though that the Australian Pink Floyd tribute band, they are worth going to see.
Delvian Seek, the Opera House in Boscombe. Sorry, Kim to go. I just knows the opera. I don't live that far from it at all. I've been there many a time. Kicked out of there many a time as well.
Do you know what? I have to admit though, like we've seen them a couple of times, and I know a lot of people don't like them. But you know what? Nickelback are actually really good live.
I saw Nickelback supporting Bon Jovi in Southampton, and they were actually fantastic.
They're really good live. And I know loads of people just have massive hate on them, but like they are actually really good live.
So a question for Delvian. Did you, when you were drunk at the Opera House, did you ever try and slide down the banisters of the really long stairs? That's how I got thrown out one night. I managed to slide down the banister, flew off and knocked over a couple of people, and they threw me out.
Oh yeah, I could imagine Avenged Sevenfold would be good live.
Yeah. I saw.
I think they're underrated as well, you know.
A few weeks ago.
Like, do you know a lot of people say like Avenged Sevenfold and stuff like this are sort of old and rubbishy band now, but I think some of them are massively underrated for what they did.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen Avenged Sevenfold live, but their music's. I've got nothing against their music.
Well, a lot of people tell me that they're actually really good live. I would have loved to have seen Linkin Park live, but that never happened.
Yeah, I always wanted to see them. I did my little thing, which I'm really, really proud of. It's nothing major, but although we were like the start of the day, I did play a little festival in Dorset called Teddy Rocks with my like old band, and I was absolutely chuffed as nuts. Played on the stage to the side of it, but I got to go backstage because if you performed on the gig, you had like all access area passes. That was cool. But I'm really chuffed. I've got the poster in my stairwell. It's like a plastic poster that I nabbed off the site. I stole it. I'm naughty. But it's got Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. Obviously, Phil Campbell from Motorhead. And I'm really chuffed to be on the same poster. Like my little band on the same poster as Phil Campbell's. I was like, that's like it was just a covers band. We were no one important in that band, but that was pretty cool. And I got to meet the Darkness, and I've never met such pretentious, arrogant people that I've wanted to punch in the face as much as them. They are awful, awful, horrible human beings.
Okay.
And I even told their manager when he tried to have me removed from backstage for walking past their I walked past their tent, as anyone would do. I saw the Darkness stood there. So I double took, as you would, wouldn't you? If you said, oh,
Right.
look who that is. Walking to the toilets. And this bloke in a little fat bloke in a pork pie hat walked out and was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going for a pee. It's not what I said. Words similar to that. Because you can't be back here. And I was like, see that on my wrist, mush? Yes, I can. So I walked to the loos, and he went up to the security guard and was trying to have me thrown out from backstage. But the security guard's actually one of my neighbours, a woman up the road. And she basically told him where to go. I just said to him, look, mate, to be honest with you, if this was any other festival, they wouldn't be headlining. So shut up. They were rude and arrogant to everyone backstage. They kicked off because they didn't like that they had to use the same toilets as the rest of the artists. Oh, wow.
Right.
And they demanded that the guy who owned the farm, well, they didn't demand, but they were being such arses about it that the guy, I know the guy who owns the farm because it's literally a stone's throw from my house. He ended up having to drive them down to the farmhouse so that they could use the toilet at his place. And when they got on stage, they bear in mind this is a charity gig and it was all started because of a child that died, someone we know, and it grew from a battle of the bands to a big festival. They couldn't even get the name of the charity right on stage.
Oh.
So I was just like, yeah, you know what? You're scumbags. Do one. The thing is, they did put on a good show and people enjoyed it, but just because I'm aware of all the backstage shenanigans, I just thought, what divas? Like, you're the Darkness, you know, one special. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Backstage, I was walking around the backstage and I saw Phil Campbell in the Bastard Sons tent. They still had all the Motorhead like touring boxes, you know, like the boxes where they put their equipment in.
Yeah.
And I sort of poked my head round the corner. I said to the lads from the band, I said, I'm really sorry. Is there any chance I could like get a picture of those boxes? It's a bit sad, Motorhead fan. And they were like, come on in. I was like, no, I don't want to bother you. And they were like, come in. I stood there talking to them for about 40 minutes. Lovely guys. They gave me pics. They gave me a couple of posters, I think. Phil Campbell wasn't there. They offered to go get him so I could meet him. And I was like, no, don't disturb him. But the difference.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the difference. There was nothing pretentious about them at all. Because I was like, I don't want to bother you. And they could see my pass and all that. And they're like, oh, mate, you're allowed in here. They're like, you're allowed in. Come on in. I just thought that was really nice of them. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you had, the darkness just being absolute buttholes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
Shame, really. But
Yeah, I
what can you do?
You get some bands that just let it all go to their heads, and yeah, I don't think they're much. I wouldn't listen to the darkness. I can't stand
It's a
them.
real shame because there was some like decent, what I would call well-known bands there, and certainly have played there over the years. And that year we were backstage because it's that the one day you play, it's like a 2-day festival. You're like the next day you get passes for the full weekend, but you get your sort of, I'm not sure, was it? We didn't have all access passes, but we had backstage passes. So we technically couldn't go some places, but you could pretty much go everywhere, and you could sort of stand to the side of the stage and stuff if you wanted to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, my pass meant I could go in the VIP area and I could go round, and absolutely, I don't think that's it. I couldn't go to the side of the stage, but basically they were letting you up there anyway, because I've still got my passes in the stairwell because I kept it with my stuff. It's like a ribbon that they put on your wrist, but mine was different because obviously I was like, if you were one of the artists, you got different like wristband. And I met some really fantastic people there. A couple of the bands I met there have gone on to like they're doing really well.
Right.
And when you're at one of these things and you're like a really small band, you know that you're not famous. You know that you're just there because you're making up numbers essentially for the start of the day. But it's so nice when you're there with people who are like sort of known and they're treating you as equal, not like, do you know what I mean? It's just nice. Because at the end of the day, you're all there to do a job, and that's go up on stage and play some music, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to love yous and leave yous. I've got to get up in the morning.
All right, Kim. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Night,
Thanks.
Kim.
Night.
Right, Kim. No doubt I'll
Good
chat
night.
to you at some point in the next 24.
Okay, cool.
Chat to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, Soda Cauldron.
Oh, soda's off as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say, Tim? We're coming up to 3.25 hours. Should we call time?
Yeah, because I'm just tired. I need to lay down for a bit. I'm just tired.
No worries, man.
I went to bed early, but I had to get up early as well, so...
Gerard's opinion of the darkness there. Shit people, shit band.
Yeah.
Very, very accurate. I wouldn't care if they were a shit band if they were nice people.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Cool. All right then, guys. Well, I suppose we'll call it. Let's just catch up, get up to date with the chat. Andrew saying this is a highlight of his Wednesday, and our time has value. Well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you stopping by, man. Thanks for supporting the stream. Appreciate it, buddy.
That's
Cool.
good, man.
All
Thanks
right
for
then,
letting
Tim.
me gate crash yet again.
No, you're more than welcome, man. No problem.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, Nick. You're a nice British gent. Prim
Thank you very
and
much.
proper British gent.
Proper British gent in it.
Cool. All right then. Well, I guess we'll call it there then. Bye, everyone.
I'm gonna hang around
Okay.
until you shut the stream.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Hang around, Tim. Nick, hang around. Thanks to everyone that's joined us on the stream, and thanks for everyone in the chat. Appreciate you all. Thanks for stopping by. As usual, I'm not going to name everybody because I'll forget someone, and I don't want to do that. But thanks
We
to
couldn't
everyone.
name 9 body parts, to be fair. So what chance have you got with everyone in the chat?
Well, we got like 10 out of 12.
Oh, was it
Yeah,
12? I don't even know the number.
We did all right. All right then, everyone. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.